Ladies and gentlemen, we present the TV Lark with our three stars, Stephen Murray, John Pertwee and Leslie Phillips. For all those listeners who've demanded to know what happened to the Navy Lark crew, the time has come for us to fearlessly reveal all, as they say in Compact. Well, thrown out of one service, they've joined another, the newly formed Troutbridge television service. A top-level meeting about the plans for their opening night is at present taking place between the controller of programmes TTV, Mr. Gervais Batsford-Shaw, and the deputy controller, a certain Mr. Henry Povey, ex-Captain Royal Navy retired, in his office at the Troutbridge television studios.
A splash. That is what is required, Povey, old man. A big splash. Now, what are your plans for the opening night?
Well, I've hardly had time to make any yet, sir. A London office have arranged for a hookup with all the other TV stations, including Eurovision, of course. Now, for the first hour, they'll all be feeding us pictures and welcoming TTV.
Capital, capital. Eyes across the sea and all that. Then what happens?
I haven't the faintest idea.
It's up to you. The ball is at your feet, Povey. Television history, that's the target. So make it big. Yes, it's got to be big. By George, it has. A new era in fireside entertainment. Must dash now. Do at the golf course ages ago. Make it big, Povey. Yes, make it big.
Yeah, make it big. Television history, new era of fireside entertainment. Yeah, he talks even more codwallop than Admiralty did. A deputy controller of TTV, Mr. Henry Povey, ex-captain, Royal Navy, retired, speaking. Who's that?
Your secretary.
Oh. Well, what is it?
The production team have arrived from head office.
Oh, have they? Oh, excellent, excellent. That's what I like to hear. All I ask is a staff who know their job and I can trust. Show 'em in.
Good morning, sir. Head office asked us to contact you or the controller as soon as we got here, so I think I'd like to sit down for a bit.
Grief, Murray, what the devil are you and that other idiot with you doing here?
Other idiot? What other idiot? I'm the only other idiot that... Thunderguts. There's been a terrible mistake. How did he get here? I mean, what am I doing here if he is? Why is he here if I am? And another thing.
What?
Shove up. I want to sit down for a bit, too.
This is absolutely ludicrous. Murray, Phillips, what the blazes are you two doing here?
Well, we're the production team, sir.
That's right, sir. He's the protector and I'm the seducer. Oh, no. No, hang on. That didn't sound quite right, did it?
It didn't. I'm the producer, you're the director.
Oh,
yes.
no, I can't bear it. It's asking too much of one man. It's more than flesh and blood can stand.
I'm rather afraid it isn't, sir.
Wait until you see the floor manager.
Floor manager? But why, who is the floor manager?
Head office asked me to contact you or the controller and said... It's a ghost. Pertwee's been haunted. Thunderguts has come back from outer space.
Pertwee, be quiet.
Stone me. A ghost that chats while it haunts, while it goes red in the mush.
Chief, I mean, Mr. Pertwee.
Oh, I like that. Mr. Pertwee. Would you mind saying that again, Mr. Murray, sir?
Certainly. Mr. Pertwee.
Yes?
Shut up.
Oh.
Now, Pertwee, allow me to introduce you to the Deputy Controller of Programs, TTV, Mr. Henry Povey.
Ex-captain.
Royal Navy.
Retired.
Thank you.
You know, I'm just a bit baffled. I mean, how did we all come to be here?
You see, there's a little mystery that's been troubling me. Personally, of course, I was taken on by the directors through a strong letter of introduction and recommendation from an ex-rear admiral who now holds a very responsible post with the BBC.
That's strange.
Yes, very odd.
Highly peculiar.
Now, what do you mean?
Well, I got in through a letter of introduction from an ex-rear admiral high up in the BBC.
Well, so did I.
Likewise, and to do.
Good gracious, what on earth did he recommend us all for?
Well, he is working for the BBC, sir. Oh, but can you think of a better way of bumping up the corporation's viewing figures than fixing us up with jobs with RTA?
Well, offhand, no.
All right, well, now let's get down to planning the opening night. You've presumably heard about the hookup with all the other television services and Eurovision.
Rather jolly exciting. I must remember to switch on to see that.
Switch on to... You blithering idiot, you'll be responsible for transmitting it.
I wonder if I can find an ex-rear admiral in ITA who'll recommend me back to the BBC.
What if I'm a next overruled, Mr. Purvey? Your deputy controllership follows the Euromitification lookup?
What follows it? Yes, well, this is obviously your responsibility. The ball is at your feet, but make it big, mind. Make it big.
Yes, I get the idea. Yes, why, what we need is a new era of fireside entertainment, television history. That's the target. Eyes across the sea and feet under the table.
Quite. But you all understand what's needed. Now, I suggest you find something of local interest. Now, disperse to your own offices and get down to the task of planning our opening programs. Now, make them big, mind. Make them big.
Yes, who is it?
Your staff.
Enter staff.
Would this be Mr. Jonathan Pertwee's business address?
Fatso! Johnston, me podgy little playmate. What are you doing here?
Making it impossible for you to see that I'm here too. I'm right behind the great fat lamp.
Taffy Goldstein. Oh, are you here and all? What's this then, a social visit to wish your old chief good luck with the new company?
No, we was hoping you'd wish us that.
Yeah, we're working here and all. We're the cameramen.
You're the...
What's so funny about that? In my time, I've taken some very pretty snaps of my Anne Morpeth paddling.
Look, I don't care if you're a pair of Cecil Beatniks. You don't know, how did this happen? How'd you get mixed up with TTV in the first place?
Well, we both had strong letters of recommendation from an ex-rear admiral who now works for the BBC. See?
Stone me. Do you know something, Taffy? I think he looks even larger in civvies than he did in uniform.
Ah, well, the snag is, you see, that suit's double-breasted. He needed one that was double-tummed.
If you're both quite done with making personal remarks of a personal nature about Mr. Johnson's person, I should be obliged personally.
Oh, excuse me. Are you Mr. Pertwee?
I have that honour.
Oh, I'm Mr. Murray, the producer's secretary.
Oh, you. Yeah, very nice too. And where's Mr. Pertwee's secretary?
You don't have one. You get a typewriter instead.
Try going steady with that.
All right. Pertwee knows which way the wind blows now, eh? Oh, I know. Yeah. One bit for the rich and one lot of machinery for the poor. Would you like to sit down, miss? My lap is empty.
No, thank you. Mr. Murray sent me along to ask you if you'd join him and Mr. Phillips in his office straight away.
Certainly. And would you like to lead the way, madam?
No, Mr. Phillips, I'm afraid not. A round-the-world hookup bringing greetings from other television stations, followed by a filmed report of the Troutbridgeshire and District Friendly Co-op and Universal Supply Stores garden utensils sale, won't do.
Oh, well, it is local interest.
Yeah, precisely, but we're hardly likely to be acclaimed for sending millions of viewers a picture of a co-op wheelbarrow reduced from £5 to £4.10.
4 guineas, actually.
Even so.
Well, it's a bargain.
Then buy one. Now, what we need is an event that is not only of local interest, but also of national and world interest.
I do realise that, sir, but unfortunately there just doesn't seem to be anything mentioned in the Troutbridge Herald, Clarion, Weekly Guardian that quite falls into that category. I mean, the only other big scoop here seems to be vicarage collapses when Sexton pricks his Bob Triples.
When what?
Well, it's one of the names of changes when you're bell ringing, sir. And the sexton was a bit too close to the vicarage.
I see. Come in.
Mr. Pertwee is here, sir.
Oh, will you ask him to come in, Janet? Now, let's get down to this current panic, shall we? What are we going to offer as our contribution following the opening guff from all the other stations? The controller wants something of national interest that's happening in Troutbridgeshire from us.
And after there's a delectable little offering from the light entertainment department called the Fred Let's Hear You Laughing Ma Fosdyke Show.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if TTV is to make an impact, it would seem to be somewhat desperately up to us. I suppose you haven't heard of anything, Pertwee? Oh, sorry, pardon. Mr. Pertwee.
Thank you.
Well, sir, there's only one thing a world-shattering, epoch-making signification in Troutbridge, sir.
What's that?
On the same day that TTV opens, sir, British Railways are closing down a station called Twigley Minor Halt.
Shame.
Yes. There will be a speech chatting from the local mayor and his good lady, and the last train chuffing in, covered in flags, at noon.
Yes, I see. Well, it all sounds a bit sexy. It's better than anything else so far. We'll take a mobile transmitter van down with us and record the ceremony in the morning and then get back here to control the evening transmission.
Smashing! Day out in the country. Lovely. How about taking your secretary with us?
I don't think so, Mr. Pertwee. It isn't going to be that sort of day in the country.
Oh.
Don't tell him that, sir. He'll never go.
Oh, yes, he will. Mr. Pertwee can join us with the mobile transmitter, and we'll take Goldstein along as cameraman and leave Johnston here to cope with recording our transmission from Twigley Minor.
Yeah, well, speaking on behalf of TTV, Mr. Murray, I'd say it would be much safer if you left Miss Brown and I here.
Speaking on behalf of Miss Brown, I'd say it wouldn't. You're coming to Twigley Minor Halt with us, and that's final.
Spoiled sport.
What a journey. See Twigley Minor Halt and never sit down again. I reckon anyone who drives on those roads should get treatment out of the National Health Scheme.
Yes, they were worse than the M1.
Morning. Remember me? Ace Cameraman Goldstein.
Hey, what are you doing out there? You're supposed to be on the roof of the van with the camera.
Now, well, for the first 2 miles, I was. Then we hit the first pothole. And ever since, Ace Cameraman Goldstein's been hanging over the side of the van, clinging on by his fingertips.
I thought I saw something swinging about in the wing mirror, but it disappeared after a while.
No, of course it did. I fell off. I had to run like mad to catch you up after, and I done the last 5 miles standing on the back bumpers like an inexperienced postilion.
Yeah, then in future we shall have to call you Tantivy Goldstein, shan't we?
Oh, blimey, O'Reilly. Bang goes another motto out of his last Christmas cracker.
I think I'd rather have had the novelty hat. What happens next?
Well, I understand that at the end of the speech from the mayor, the last train to Twigley Minor Halt will pull into this station. The mayor will present the driver with a bunch of flowers.
Oh, he'll like that. May I suggest a close-up of his face when he cops his rich reward?
No, I think not. After that, the train will pull into the siding and the mayor will leave the station and lock it up.
Whilst the driver goes home, dancing through the streets, scattering petals from his civic bunch of flowers behind him willy-nilly.
Yeah, very probably. Now, we'll have the van parked at the end of the platform to cover the speech and the arrival of the train.
If it turns up.
Well, it should. It'll be waiting round the corner just out of sight. Now, stop worrying. These things are always planned to go like clockwork.
Clockwork? I thought it was a steam train.
Yes, I could have bitten my tongue out as I said it. Now, as soon as the driver's received his bunch of, his civic gift, we'll back the van along the siding so the camera can follow the train as it pulls in and stops.
And so ends our first contribution to the new era in facet entertainment creating television history.
Yes, quite. Now, go and connect up to the GPO landline, Pertwee, and don't spend the whole morning contacting all your relatives at TTV's expense on the tatty excuse that you were just testing, will you?
It is a sad day in the glorious history of Twigley Minor, as my dear husband, His Worship, will no doubt tell you in just a few moments.
Hurry up, love. Let's get a word in.
Ever since dear Mr. James Watt invented the things, Twiggly Minor has had its train. 1 up, 1 down, and 2 on market day. So even though we must bow our heads to the march of progress, it will be with almost a feeling of personal loss that my dear husband, His Worship, will end the story of steam in Twiggly Minor.
As mayor...
Oh, in just a few moments.
Come on, glad to. You see? That's Charlie's going off the boil.
I know you'll all join with me as we view Charlie and his faithful engine for the last time. As my dear husband, His Worship, will no doubt tell you... in just a few...
She'd better tell you right now. Thanks very much, Glad. Lovely bit of chatting. Wave the flag and give Charlie the signal, someone. I pronounce Twiggly Minor halt redundant and welcome the last train, if it's still got enough puff left.
Another 4 sentences and Charlie would have had to push his engine.
Pan camera off the mare and pick up the train, Goldstein. Pertwee, check with Johnston on the phone, will you?
Oh, Isaac, what am I talking about? Very good.
TTV control room, Troutbridge. Mr. Johnston, Esquire, chatting.
Mobile unit here. Is the picture coming through all right, Fatso?
Oh, lovely, Tar. Her worship can half chew the fat, can't she?
Yes, how can you give it a chance? But this time you're not getting it. Good morning. A picture's been received for recording, sir.
Well, there's a surprise.
Not really, sir. Electronically speaking, I mean, our camera transmits the picture via the landline, you see, and to a closed-circuit camera screen back at Troutbridge. At the same time, the recording apparatus
Yeah, we
also...
did know, thank you.
Yes, what surprises us, Mr. Phillips, is that you did. I'd have taken bets you didn't even know who invented television.
That's just where you're wrong, Pertwee. Everybody knows it was invented by John Yogi Baird.
Mr. Phillips, sir, I think you've made a bit of a boo-boo.
Is cameraman Goldstein on the roof here? Far be it from me to interrupt your little chat down there, but the ceremony's over.
What? Good heavens, he's right. Back the van onto the siding. The engine will move off in a minute. Phillips, you're nearest. You drive.
What? Lummy, where's reverse?
Well, find a starter first.
What for? I know where that... Yes, of course, yes.
Yeah, hurry up. The train's moving. We'll miss it.
Over a bit.
Over a bit.
The other way.
Which other?
To the right.
Who's right? Your right or mine?
The other one. You're on the track.
I thought it was a bit bumpy.
Get us off! Get us off!
Certainly, sir, certainly. Left hand down a bit.
Left hand. No! Put your foot down, sir. Put your foot down. Not on the brake, on the throttle, not the brake. Everybody down!
Is cameraman Goldstein here? I've heard of close-ups, but wasn't that a bit silly?
Tell him to put it down as a moment of television history.
You stupid lot of blundering, dim-witted nits! Look what you done to my train! You bent me buffer and bind your aerial through me ladies' only compartment.
Ooh, nasty.
Yeah, so we have. Well, perhaps we can straighten it all out once we get our radiator off your buffer.
Couldn't you report it as a bit of practice shunting, which couldn't have happened because the line was officially closed anyway?
Mr. Phillips, sir, I'd say a report like that would have Dr. Beechin taking one of his own pills.
In any case, I'm rather afraid the line will have to be officially opened again.
Eh? Why?
Well, with our van out of action, how else are we going to get back to TTV studios for the Eurovision opening? You'll just have to take us back by rail.
Not likely.
But we've got to get back.
Then you're in for a long walk.
No, there's only one thing for it. We'll have to get Johnston to send the pictures to us as they come in from the other stations, and we'll produce the whole thing from this van.
Perhaps the GPO could arrange another landline or so, and then we could punch up the pictures on the monitor screens here. At least we know which picture was going out and which was due to go out next.
Well, they should be able to do that, sir, but if you ask me, it's fraught.
Oh?
Frightfully fraught. Fatso will never do it. He'll never do it. He'll muck it up. I know he will. He'll never cope with all those pictures. All the pictures talking foreign at him and all them levers and buttons and other transmitting codswallop. The lot of him great luck he can't get Housewife's Choice in his transistor unless I tune it in for him.
Well, perhaps he doesn't want Housewife's Choice.
Of course he doesn't, but Pertwee do.
Mr. Pertwee do.
You're so right, Tom.
Well, we'll soon know whether Johnston can cope or not. There's less than a minute to go. Check the phone line to him is open.
Right, it.
Well?
Just checking you were there, Fatso.
Yeah, well, I am, and I've been here all the time, so thanks very much for your vote of confidence.
20 seconds to go.
Good morning.
No, wait, Fatso! Fatso, send us a picture.
How can I? I never cope, I shall muck it up.
10 seconds.
You cantankerous great Marlin Parconi. Send us some perishing pictures.
Coming up, then. What would you like first, the opening?
Get on with it.
5 seconds.
Cue announcer.
Cue announcer, sir.
Certainly.
Fade up sound and vision. And heaven help us between now and the Fred Let's Hear You Laughing Ma Fosdyke show.
And heaven help everybody else during that.
Good evening. This is Troutbridge Television Service, Troutbridgeshire's favourite television. And to open the service, we're about to hear from some friends on the other channels. This is Troutbridge Television calling the BBC.
Come on, Johnston. Punch up the picture from the BBC.
This is Troutbridge Television calling the BBC.
Lummy, I think they're out.
Oi! Tub! Where's the picture?
I don't know which one it is. I've got dozens of them coming up on the screens here.
Well, guess and show something for pity's sake.
This is Troutbridge Television. Come in, BBC.
They'd like to, but they can't get past Johnston.
No, wait. Here comes something.
Greetings and welcome to TTV from all of us here at Banana Television from the North. We hope you'll join us in our endeavour to spread culture and unbiased and well-informed political claptrap to the masses. Don't forget, as we say up here, it pays to advertise, even if it's only yourself.
That's the wrong one, you clown. Try another.
This is the BBC calling Troutbridge Television. What's going on?
Thank you, Banana Television from the North. Now over to the BBC.
Too late, we've lost them.
What's this coming up?
Yeah, he's whipped something off Eurovision.
Welcome and truly dirty old greetings from Botaniland, fine and disastrous old Jelly Willy. Bung ho!
Bung ho!
And one more.
Why not? Let's leave a little.
Bung ho!
Johnson, what's going on there? You're getting them all in the wrong order.
Ever since dear Mr. James Waugh invented the thing, Twiggly Minor has had its trade.
That sounds familiar.
Of course it does, you idiot. It's our tele-recording from this morning.
So it is. I say, it came out jolly well, didn't it?
This is the BBC calling Troutbridge Television. Come on, you chaps. What is going on?
Tell Johnston to give us the pictures from Paris.
Right. Johnson?
Hello. Oh, it's murder up here. Pictures. They're popping up on the screens all round me.
Well, listen. Can you find the picture from Paris?
Yes, but I'm not parting with that one.
Punch it up, Johnson. Punch it up on our screen. Let us see it.
Not likely.
Don't argue. Punch it up.
All right, here it is, but you'll be sorry.
Hello? The Troutbridge Television Service? Greetings. Ici Radio Confusion Française. This is your little friend in Paris.
Little? Cool. How about that? Oh, I say, well, I never. Well, at least not lately. I mean, cool.
Yeah, neither have I. But I wish I had. Here, Mr. Murray, sir. I think the frame hole's gone on her dress.
Get rid of it.
Eh?
The picture.
Oh.
Get something else, quick.
Right, sir. Johnston?
There you are. What did I tell you?
This is the BBC calling TTV. What is going on, you chaps? Is it something we said?
Ever since dear Mr. James war invented things, Twiggly Minor has had its train.
We've had that one already, you podgy pudding.
Well, how am I supposed to know which button I'm supposed to press? I'm surrounded up here. Pictures, 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 and they're all glaring at me like animals in a zoo waiting to be watered.
This is Troutbridge Television Service calling the BBC.
And during his visit to the White House, your grand old Prime Minister displayed typical English wit when he kidded my vivacious wife about her new Mona Lisa haircut.
Stone me! Now he's got Telstar.
Oh, well done. Hardly. That was the only one he wasn't supposed to contact.
Ever since dear Mr. James
This is the BBC calling TTV. Peekaboo.
Johnston! Johnston! Johnston, listen to me. Stop messing about. Settle for something, for Pete's sake.
I'm gonna, don't worry. I'm gonna punch up the old flaming lot of them and you can sort them out your end. No, you've had enough.
All right, then. No! No, Johnston, don't do that. Johnston, don't do that. You'll blow up everything. Johnston, Johnston, come away from the control panel. Don't touch any...
This is the Troutbridge Television Service. We proudly and hurriedly present the Fred, Let's Hear You Laughing Ma Fosdyke Show.
I demand an explanation of last night's debacle.
Well, you've heard how we couldn't get back owing to a mechanical fault on the van, sir.
Well, how did you get back?
Well, it was Mr. Pertwee's idea, actually.
Brilliant. Brilliant, sir. That's what it was. It was brilliant. At least it seemed to be at the time, sir. It looks a bit dodgy now, sir, but it was brilliant at the time, sir. Brilliant.
Pertwee, what have you done? How did you get back?
How did we... Well, it wasn't easy, sir. No. I mean, when you see our claim for expenses, it's going to sort of stand out a bit, sir. But under the circumstances...
Pertwee, how did you get back?
Well, if you must know, sir, on behalf of Troutbridge Television Service, of course.
Well?
We ever so slightly bought the tray.
What?
Oh, you know what I mean.
That was Stephen Murray, John Pertwee, and Leslie Phillips trying their hand at the TV Lark, written by Lawrie Wyman. Stephen Murray was the producer, John Pertwee was the floor manager, Leslie Phillips was the director, Deputy Controller of Programs was played by Richard Caldecott, Fatso Johnson was Ronnie Barker, Taffy Goldstein was Tenniel Evans, Controller of Programs was Michael Bates, Janet was Janet Brown, the voice of TTV Robin Boyle. The recorded production was by Alastair Scott Johnston.
After that somewhat shattering start, listeners will understand that Troutbridge Television is having some difficulty in finding advertisers to buy time on its programs. Next week, our gallant lads tackle this major hurdle with a prestige show, which incredibly TTV manages to sell to the other networks. After which, of course, the other networks are never quite the same again. The TV Lark will be on the live program again next Friday at 8 o'clock.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present the TV Lark with our three stars, John Pertwee, Leslie Phillips, and Stephen Murray.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nobody has bought a single solitary second of advertising time on TTV.
Yeah, but surely there was an advert on Tuesday night, just after the latest episode in Handsome Dr. Killjoy. The casebook of an ordinary, everyday Harley Street specialist.
No, sir, no. No, there wasn't. No, sir, no. You must have been watching another channel, sir.
No, he wasn't, Pertwee. It was a commercial for the little grocers round the back of the studios. This week's bargain, large stocks of genuine Romanian baked beans in brine. 4p a tin.
Yeah, that's right. There was a small boy stuck behind an enormous plateful of the things, and he kept saying, "Mummy says Romanian baked beans in brine will make me a big boy."
Mummy was right. If he'd eaten that lot, he'd have got so big he'd have blown up.
Well, I can't understand this. There's nothing on my charts about this advertising time being booked.
Yes, well, if you don't need me anymore, I'll be on my way, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, my sentiments exactly.
Well, I mean, I've got a lot of paperwork waiting in my office, so if you'll excuse me...
Pertwee, stay where you are. What do you know about this advertising time taken by the local grocer?
Well, it was a little idea I had, sir, which I thought would be for the good of us all, sir.
Strange, isn't it? We never hear a word about these generous deeds he does for our benefit until somebody rumbles him.
Isn't it all right, eh? Isn't it all right? Isn't it nice? Hey, Pertwee, my son, you've fallen amongst a suspicious lot of old...
Pertwee?
Bath buns.
Pertwee, why did that grocer advertise on TTV?
Well, sir, you see, look, I had noticed that we didn't seem to have no commercials, you see, so I chatted up the grocer and came to a sort of arrangement, as you might say.
Go on.
Well, I was hoping to stop there, actually.
What was this sort of arrangement?
Yes, well, you see, what he happened to mention is that he couldn't afford to pay our usual rates for advertising time, so... Well, I suggested a sort of barter system, you know. In exchange for his commercial...
Yes?
I got 300 tins of Romanian baked beans in brine. So if any of you gentlemen have a bit of toast handy, I'd be only too pleased to let you have a dollop.
Lummy, 300 tins. Pertwee is going to be a big boy.
This is absolutely ridiculous. You can't go around flogging our airtime for tins of Romanian baked beans.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Advertisers are supposed to come directly to me, and I inform them of the scale of charges depending on the time the commercial is to be transmitted. Now, it's up to you three to put on programs which are so popular that other TV companies network our transmissions all over the country. That way, we may get money to cover our program costs and more advertising to pay your salaries and give TTV a profit.
Flaming complicated, isn't it?
Yeah, well, as I see it, sir, our main problem over attracting advertisers is to get our programs networked by the other companies. Up to now, they haven't taken a thing from us, have they?
Not a thing. What we need to attract the other networks is a prestige show.
What's that?
A prestige show. Something nobody fancies, but it's terribly good for everybody, and if we tell them often enough how marvellous it is, they'll take it.
Yes, like health sorts.
Spoken like handsome Dr. Killjoy, ordinary everyday Harley Street specialist himself, sir. I get the idea, sir. I know. A dollop of any class entertainment and superior relaxamentification for the oi the gawp hat on their goggle boxes.
Yeah, well, something like that.
Yeah, well, I know the very thing, sir. Look, all this week, the Troutbridge Hippodrome have got Sultry Cynthia, the volcanic nude.
Oh, is that the one who finishes her act by singing, Lava, Come Back to Me?
Yeah, that's the one, sir. Yes. Yes. She's got a sister called Etna. Now, look, sir, if we got her to pop over and nip about in front of the cameras, singing a song in her vest, the other networks...
No, thank you. Pertwee, what we're after is prestige, not reputation.
Couldn't we do a kitchen sink drama by an absolutely furious young man? There's a script of one in our office.
Is there? What's it doing there?
Stopping the filing cabinet from wobbling.
I suppose you don't know what it's called.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I do. It's called Fly Me a Grubby Gargoyle.
Hey, what's it called?
Fly Me a Grubby Gargoyle. It's by a chap called John Pettibur.
Oh, yes, I remember now. Very strange.
Well, what's it about?
Well, nobody knows, including John Pettibur.
We did ask him, actually, but he called us a couple of old oblongs who need a haircut.
Old oblongs who need... Long-haired old squares, sir.
Well, it wasn't the sort of thing a chap says to another chap when a chap asks another chap about a chap's work. I mean, when a chap is in a chap's office, talking to a chap about a chap's... I've forgotten which chap I got to.
Well, next time, try making the other chap a bloke, sir. It might help.
And so might this play. It could be just the thing we're looking for.
I suppose it could, sir. And, of course, just to make sure everybody realizes it's a dollop of culture, let's perform it in Greek.
Yes, with no scenery and no costumes.
If you want it with no costumes, I'm sure that sultry Cynthia will be only too pleased.
Mind you. I don't see why we shouldn't get her to do an audition.
All right. Murray, will you kindly take the sultry Cynthia fan club out of here and see what you can do about getting us a program the other companies will network?
I'll tell you this, Fatso, but only in confidence, mind. If anyone was to ask me, not that they will, because they never have yet, but if anyone did ask me, I'll tell you this, only in confidence, though.
What's that, Taff?
Well, now you ask. I wouldn't like to say.
Oh, well, that's it the note right on the head, isn't it?
Oh, you know me, Fatso. I never mince my words.
No, you scramble them, didn't you? Do you think Ace Cameraman Goldstein would mind telling me what the snorting Snowdonia he's talking about?
Not what I'm talking about. Who. And you know who, too. Don't you?
Who?
Him.
Pardon?
Him.
Him?
Him.
Oh, him.
Him.
Taffy?
What?
Who's him?
Floor manager Pertwee, of course.
Oh, him.
Who else? You mark my chat, Fatso. He's up to something.
I can't remember a time when he wasn't. Did you see that commercial we put out for the local grocer?
What about it?
Well, ever since then, Mr. Pertwee, floor manager and fiddler of this parish, has invited me to 3 Romanian baked bean in brine parties. 6pence an head and bring your own toast.
Now, how did he fiddle that one, then?
Well, you know what old Pertwee's like.
No, we don't. So tell us, you gossiping great gasometer.
I was just gonna, mate. He's the type who... I wish I was dead.
Do you? Well, hang on for a bit before you puff your last. Because Pertwee wants to know what you two frustrated freeze greens were yakking about.
I never said a word. It was Fatso who was spreading malicious gossip about you.
Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I like. An honest friend.
Yes. Well, never mind about all that now. Look, we got problems. Look, we got to get more commercials somehow. And old Thunderguts wants us to do a prestige programme, a bit sharpish.
Well, I heard something about us doing Fly Me a Grubby Gargoyle.
Yeah, but on reading it again, Mr. Murray has rejected it. Apart from the fact that it was exactly the right size to stop his filing cabinet from wobbling. It was also a heck of a lot ruder than sultry Cynthia, the volcanic nude.
Well, I don't see that matters. I thought we were going to do it all in Greek.
No, we couldn't. Mr. Pettibur had written some words that even the Greeks didn't have one for.
I bet you'd have thought of some, though, wouldn't you, eh?
So what breathtaking load of old codswallop are we going to inflict on the viewers now?
I reckon we ought to try something like that very late night show on Saturday nights.
Which one are you talking about? Oh, I know. You mean the one that says rude words like district nurse out loud?
Yeah.
And they hope the people will ring up and complain.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
No, hardly, mate. Hello, Studio 1. Floor manager rabbiting.
Mr. Murray's secretary.
Oh, some people have all the luck. What's up, love?
Mr. Murray sends his compliments and asks if you'd be good enough to join him and Mr. Phillips in his office immediately.
Are you sure that's what he said?
Well, near enough. Actually, he said, find out where the blazes that live up, and we've got to get him up here in his office.
That's more like it. I'll be up in a tick, or possibly less.
I'm sure this new program will be a great success. I've asked the production team to come in and discuss it with you. As controller of TTV, I'm sure you'll be glad to meet them.
Povey, are they the same lot that put out our opening programme?
Yes.
Then I don't want to meet them. My wife tells me I still wake up screaming in the night and calling for mother.
No, I'm certain they've learned by their mistakes, sir.
The ball is at your feet, Povey, and it's up to you to see that your men know that television history is their target, and that they knock it for 6. Knock it for 6.
That's all very well, sir, but you're the controller of programs, so you really should.
Leave you to get on with it. Perfectly right. Carry on, Povey, carry on. I shan't interfere at all.
Yeah, very well, sir. I'll just see if the others are outside yet.
Oh, stop it, Spencer. Somebody wants your thundergut.
Let them wait.
Oh, dear Roma. Hello, who is it?
Oh, Thunderguts. Now, I was about to ask if the production team were there, but I gather they are. Send them in, please.
It'll be a pleasure, sir.
Come in.
Your secretary said you wanted to see us, sir.
I believe she also wanted one of you to stop it.
Yes, but she didn't mean it. She was just playing hard to get. They all say things like, hey, Lummy, how did you know about that? This office must be fitted up with radar.
Not quite. But kindly remember that Vera is supposed to be working for me. This is my office.
I am very nice, too, sir. It's better than the rabbit hutch we... You wanted to see her, sir?
This is the controller of TTV, Mr. Gervais Batsford Shaw.
Oh, how do you do, sir? Pleased to meet you, sir.
When do I get a rise?
Now then, as you three hadn't come up with the right idea for the kind of show TTV needs to,
Put it on the map.
Thank you, sir. The controller and I have worked out the whole thing.
Single-handed.
Exactly. And next Thursday, we start the first of a new series to be called Head-On Challenge.
Head-on challenge? What's that about, sir?
Well, I was just...
Coming to that.
Quite. It's to be a frank interview with...
No holds barred.
I was going to say with prominent men and public figures, actually.
Then do.
Thanks.
Who is to be the interviewer, sir?
Well, there's only one man for that job, and he's just agreed to do it. Mr. Bernard Yeast.
Bernard Yeast? Oh, I've been wanting to get my hands on him for years. Sorry, pardon, a very wise choice, sir. None better, I'm sure.
Sir, the chief guest will be the Member of Parliament for Troutbridge West, Sir Johnston Whittaker-Smythe, who won the recent by-election by only 8 votes.
Lummy, he nearly bumped up his own party's unemployment figures.
Well, now, before the programme, I want you to take our guests to the hospitality room and make them feel at ease. Give them drinks and so on.
Eh? Who's paying for them?
The company, of course.
Leave that side to me, son. Leave it to me. I'll attend to it, sir. Everything will be laid on. Kirby won't leave nothing to chance. His MP-ship will only have to name his wallop. And he'll have it in his hot little hand in a jiffy. Now, let's see. Now, 16 bottles of scotch, 14 bottles of gin, 10 crates of light ale, 4 tins of crisps.
I think perhaps Mr. Murray had better do the ordering, thank you. Having managed to sell all the advertising time and get the program taken by all the other networks, I don't want you doing in all the profit the same night. Now remember, gentlemen, this is a prestige program. It's TTV's big chance to become known all over the country. So do the controller and me a favor. Don't muck it up, please.
And may I say say how delighted we all are at TTV to have you with our studios, Sir Jimson.
Oh, really? Now, just a minute. What have I done with it? I had something with me when I got out of the car. I know I did.
It was me, dear.
Huh? Oh, yes, the wife. I knew it was either you or a briefcase. Did you say something about a drink?
Certainly, sir. What are you having, Lady Smythe?
Just a large gin and small orange, thank you, dear.
Large Scotch, thanks.
And what are you having, Mr. Phillips?
Kittens, dear. No.
Having what, dear?
No. This is on me. What are you having?
Don't fight it any longer, Mr. Phillips. I'll get you a neat shandy. Mr. Pertwee will serve us. Can't be a minute. Mr. Pertwee?
What's that? What do you want?
No. Oh, dear.
What's that, then? You want a drink, sir? Oh, yeah, there's a stack of it back there. At least there was. Yeah, shall I tell you something? I think the bottles must have got a leak in them. Do you know, they don't make anything properly these days, do they, sir? Don't make anything properly, they don't.
Pertwee, what on earth have you been doing?
Well, I just thought that was pretty obvious. I've been checking that all the bottles contained what they said they did. And they did. Believe me.
I do indeed. Well, I think the best thing you can do is to get up to the control gallery and wait for us up there.
I say, you chaps, they're getting a bit restive. What's happening?
Hello, Mr. Phyllis.
Don't bother to answer that.
Look, we've got to get him out of here before Sir Jimson spots him and starts asking questions in this house.
Here, where's Burnley? Where's Burnley? I want to meet up with Mr. Yeast and take the rise out of him.
No, you don't. Besides, you can't. Mr. Yeast prefers to meet the person he has to interview for the first time in front of the cameras. Now go up to the control room.
Very well. I shall do that small thing. I'll see you later. You put the red lead in. You pull the black lead out. You bung another one in. And you shake it all about. How you doing, yeah? How you doing, the okey cokey? And you turn about. That's what it's all about. Oh, you put the blue lead in. You pull the red lead out. You pull the Hello? Here, I've just finished connecting up for transmission to the other network. So, here, the control room's all ready for the off. So, what would you like me to do next?
Pass out.
Certainly.
Good gracious, he has! Hurry up, get to your seats, everyone. There's only a few seconds to go.
Oh, sorry, I'm a bit late, Mr. Murray.
Where have you been, Janet?
Oh, making sure Mr. Yeast had been called onto the set.
Oh, you've met him. What's he like? Is he really as much of a...
Bigger. 10 seconds before commercial.
Lummy, a big moment, this. Troutbridge Television's first commercial.
Nice not! What about my Ruritanian?
Hit him.
Thank you. Good night.
Fade up sound on the monitor screens.
Yes, Jim is a test pilot and goes through the sound barrier hundreds of times every day.
Who said Lucky Jim?
Quiet.
a tremendous strain on every vital nerve and tissue. But Jim is smart. Jim starts every day with puddy flakes. The only breakfast cereal that contains the all-round protection of the miracle freshener, the well-known moxamiglythohexatremapopic. Or, as we say here at the Puddy Flake Garden Factory, good old XLP40. Thanks to Puddy Flakes, Jim knows as he goes through the sound barrier each time he is still nice to know. Be like Jim and start eating Puddy Flakes today. It's sound sense to put up a barrier.
Troutbridge Television Service, Troutbridgeshire's favourite television.
Stand by to fade up sound and vision, and call out the shot numbers, Janet, as we get to them.
Now we welcome viewers on other channels with TTV's first presentation of Head On Challenge, in which Bernard Yeast talks to Sir Jimson Whittaker Smythe, Member of Parliament for Troutbridge West.
Fade up sound and vision.
Shot one.
Track in on the pair of them, camera one.
And before we start this interview, may I say, Sir Jimson, how delighted I am that you have come to TTV Studios this evening.
Oh, well...
Not only delighted, but astounded. I never thought for a moment that a man in such a ludicrously precarious public position such as you are would have the nerve to face the millions of viewers who are stuck with you until the next election.
Oh, just...
And am I right in saying that at the recent election, your so-called majority was a mere 8 votes, and that... Let me finish, please. Do you consider yourself justified in continuing to claim, as you did in your speech at an earlier campaign on May the 20th in 1932, that you are a man of the people? How can a man with a majority of 8 be anything more than a man of half the people? An ill-informed half at that.
Yeah, but that...
And is there any truth in the rumour that when the last register was taken, you deliberately imported 8 of your wife's relatives into your house for the night in order that their names should appear on the electoral roll, thus giving you your humiliatingly meagre and ill-gotten majority?
Certainly.
I'm glad to hear that you have the courage to admit it.
I haven't...
Now, don't interrupt me, please, or I shall lose my place on the prompter. Now, by setting aside the recent election results, setting aside those results, and in my opinion, that is exactly what should be done with them, we come now to the eviction order that your toady, boot-licking lackey, call him what you will because you hired him, the eviction order your estate manager served on your 85-year-old mother at the disgraceful old Nissen hut you had provided for her as a permanent home.
What are you talking about? That was her bicycle shed. She lives in a 5-bedroom
Ignorance
house.
of the facts is no excuse in law, and I, for one, would be the last to suggest that you lack any knowledge on both sides of that subject. Having recently been arrested yourself, you really cannot... Very well, if we're going to split hairs, summoned by the police and been dragged through the courts on a particularly blatant and willful
All I did was park
If
my
I could
car
just
on the
get a
wrong
word
side.
in, please. I'm being as patient as I can, for I realise how much the truth must hurt when it has remained carefully concealed for so many years under a pile of dust-laden verbal cliches at poorly attended political, I was going to say meetings, but addressing half a dozen old-age pensioners sheltering from the cold is hardly a meeting, is it? Or were those 6 ill-clad wrecks of humanity some of your wife's relatives, dragged in to rescue you once again with the promise of a few more crumbs from your yet-to-be-paid-for Chippendale table?
That does it. Get your coat off. We'll settle this outside.
Yeah, that's your answer to everything, isn't it? A punch-up,
In
yes.
your case, it's about time.
What?
If you'd stop having your hair shampooed in a washing machine, it might help. Put your fist up. Come on.
Now, Sir Jimson, I would remind you that I wear glasses. You cannot possibly hit a man with...
can't I? You
Mr.
just
Phillips,
watch
stop
me.
listening and move your cameras before the fight starts.
What? Oh, Lummy, camera one, track right a bit. Come to you, camera two. Camera two, track to your left a bit. That's it.
On to camera two.
Shot two.
Have you really? Oh. Now, where are we? Lummy, they're rolling their sleeves up. Further to your left, camera two. Coming to you, camera one. Over to your right a bit more. I say, that's odd. Look at the 2 monitors. Camera 1 and 2 have got very nearly the same pictures.
What? Well, of course they have, you idiot. You've moved them right on top of each other. Move them apart before they...
Coming to you, camera 3.
Here, who's that? Who dropped a bottle?
Nobody. 2 cameras collided.
Oh, well, that's all right then. Good night.
Come in, camera 3. Any advance on 3? Do I hear 4? Give Leslie a picture, somebody. Mr. Pertwee, would you like Janet to get you another cup of black coffee?
Very much so, but she couldn't. I've drunk all there is in the county. It's not done any good at all.
I'm sorry you're not well this morning, Mr. Pertwee. I mean, it's so unexpected. You were so terribly gay last night.
Yeah, did any of the critics mention us in the morning papers?
No, it's a bit much, isn't it? Read them all. Not one of them said a word.
It's most peculiar. I should have thought Mr. Yeast would have made the press. He usually does.
Who did it? Ow! Oh! Oh! Oh, me head! Oh, me head! Don't you ever do that again, sir, please.
Never mind your confounded head. Haven't you seen the papers?
Yes, sir. Very disappointing. We read all the critics and there wasn't a word about us.
Critics? Critics? You stupid lot of blundering idiots. You didn't make the critics column. You made the front page.
What?
Goodness knows how you did it. But somehow you fouled up all the leads in the control room. When the engineer checked them this morning, he reckons somebody must have done the hokey-cokey with them.
Hokey-cokey. Suddenly I feel a great deal worse.
Love it. Do you mean all the other networks didn't get a picture after all?
Oh, they got one all right. A beauty.
Well, that's something.
Oh, is it indeed? Thanks to you fools, we are being sued by Equity, the Screenwriters Guild, Associated Rediffusion, TWW, the BBC, Granada, ABC, ATV, the Post Office, and every television dealer in the country.
But we can't be. What did we do?
Do? Instead of head-on challenge, upon which we spent a fortune on hospitality alone, you relayed over the entire ITV network 30 solid minutes of the transmission from the BBC.
Oh, good night.
Well, that was John Pertwee, Leslie Phillips, and Stephen Murray doing an unfortunate to the TV Lark, written by Lawrie Wyman. John Pertwee was the floor manager, Leslie Phillips was the director, Stephen Murray was the producer, Henry Povey was played by Richard Caldecott, Fatso Johnston was Ronnie Barker, Taffy Goldstein was Daniel Evans, controller of programs was Michael Bates, Janet was Janet Brown, and the voice of TTV, Robin Boyle. The recorded production was by Alastair Scott Johnston. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the TV Lark with our 3 stars, Leslie Phillips, Stephen Murray, and John Pertwee. Through the efforts of Mr. Murray's production team, Troutbridge Television Service has successfully brought about a tremendous wave of complete indifference from viewers in the area. However, one member of the team, floor manager Pertwee, is still certain that television should be commercial as far as he's concerned. He's about to call at the Deputy Controller's office to collect his signed claim form for expenses. Ha ha! Optimist.
Good morning, Vera. Here is old Thunderguts lurking in his inner sanctimonious.
In his what?
Give us me claim form for me expense me indemnifications and I'll op it. Before he has second thoughts about having approved them.
He hasn't approved them with his first thoughts yet. He refuses to sign it.
Refuses to sign it? How dare he? There is nothing on that claim form that isn't a legitimate fiddle.
Well, the one that really got him was this bit.
Oh, yeah, Joe. I hired a helicopter to attend an outside broadcast. Well, what's wrong with that? I had to get there.
So did he, and he saw you arrive on a bike.
What's that leave me, then?
Threatens for a stamp on a letter.
Yeah, very nice. At least he can't argue about that.
He can. He reckons you shouldn't have sealed the envelope, so he's cut it to twopence halfpenny.
Blimey, the old skinflint. Well, that's properly torn at that is. I was relying on that lot. I was going to ask you out to dinner.
Crumbs!
Yeah, probably would have been. Yeah, then after that, I thought we might have a butcher's at the Troutbridge Hippodrome.
Oh, did you? Well, Mr. Pertwee, strangely enough, I'm not that keen on seeing sultry Cynthia the volcanic nude.
What are you talking about? It's not sultry Cynthia this week. It's Wiggling Winnie. Yeah, she's in that new spectacular. Look, Ma, I'm Starkers.
Real cool, I'm sure. Coming.
Hello, Vera. Mr. Povey asked us to come here at the double.
He said what?
Vera, will you acquaint your superior of our presence?
With that what?
Tell old Thunderguts we're here.
Ah, all right then.
Well, what is it?
Huckleberry Hound, Yogi Bear, and Boo Boo are here.
What?
The production team are here.
Oh, I see what you mean. We'll send them in, please.
After you, Yogi.
What?
Mr. Murray, sir, I don't think by any stretch of the imagination we can say that this one is smarter than the average bear.
Now, just a minute.
On the contrary, immediately. Lead on.
Now, it's you three. Come in. It's about time you got here. Gentlemen, I would like you to meet Mr. Winstanley of Winstanley Washing Machines. Now, this is Mr. Phillips, our director.
How do you do, Mr. Winstanley?
This is Mr. Murray, our producer.
How do you do, Mr. Murray? I'm delighted. Oh.
We have met, actually. Yogi?
I thought your face was familiar. Boss Cat.
Glad to meet you, gentlemen.
Yes, well, now the introductions are over. I must tell you that Mr. Winstanley has suggested...
Mr. Povey, sir.
Mr. Win...
Sir.
Mr... Mr... All right, you win. This is Mr. Pertwee, our floor manager.
At last. Charmed and delighted to make your acquaintance and identification, I'm sure, sir. And how's a good lady?
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. The rest of the family in tip-top form, I trust.
Thanks.
No twinging screws?
No.
Sudden coughs?
No.
Pains in the head, back?
No.
Athletics foot? Housemaid's knee? Gripe?
No, but you're getting warm.
Oh, I am sorry.
Well, all right, Pertwee, no need to apologize. Now then, Mr. Winstanley has suggested that he would be interested in buying regular advertising time from TTV if, and only if, we had a weekly serial.
They create a regular viewing audience, you see. People get the gawping of it like, and that's what counts. It do that, it do.
Do it? Does it?
It do.
Well, I think Mr. Winstanley...
Of Winstanley washing machines. If it washes white and well, it's a Winstanley. That's our slogan, of course.
All right.
And a rah-rah-rah.
You know, be quiet, both of you. Now, I think we ought to seriously consider starting a serial on TTV. And so I've asked you, gentlemen here, to see if you have any ideas on the subject.
Well, sir, these days the popular taste seems to be for something that portrays a tough realism and unflinchingly shows up the grim truth of what really goes on behind the scenes.
You mean like Z-cars?
No, compact.
Yes, that's the one where the characters get promoted or receive fabulous offers to go to America or suddenly get the chance to rejoin their husbands in Tibet.
Yeah, that's right. And the actor in that part knows that after the next episode, he'll be currently appearing at the Labour Exchange.
Again.
The other type is the hospital lot where the character pops into the ward and has something alarming for 3 weeks.
And a week after, is currently appearing at the Labour Exchange.
Again.
Well, Bobby, these lads of yours seem to have got the idea all right. You must be proud of them.
Oh, he is, sir. Yes. Practically speechless in admiration at times. Aren't you, Mr. Povey, sir?
Well, speechless anyway. Now, as I see it...
Oh, shut up a minute, Bobby, do. Let the brains department have a say.
Brains department? Mr. Winstanley, allow me to
No,
tell...
I won't. Now, come on, lads. What's next move? What had you in mind, like?
Nothing. I mean, nothing like anything that's been done before.
Lovely, lovely. Go on, lad.
Well, that's as far as I got, actually.
Look, if I may make so bold, gentlemen.
Oh, please do, Mr. Pertwee.
Well, why don't we combine the popular taste for realism with a popular taste for horseplay and hiatuses in hospitals?
Eh? Oh, I see. A sort of Z Ambulances.
A lovely title, sir. A lovely title.
I like it, Bobby. I like it. Z Ambulances. Set that up, and Winstanley washing machines, if it washes white and well, it's a Winstanley, will book an advertising spot in that for the run of the series.
For the run of the
Aye.
Well, what are you waiting for, gentlemen? Now, get on with it. Get back to your offices and start planning the thing. The first episode must be on the screens in a fortnight.
Well, that shouldn't be too... I think I'd like to apply for my annual leave.
Wouldn't we all? Z Ambulances, you and your bright ideas.
Well, I was just sort of talking, sir.
You were just sort of talking us into the muck.
Yes, and twice weekly muck at that.
I get the feeling that Pertwee is none too popular here.
I was wondering when that would sink in.
Hello, you chaps. I'm most so sorry to barge in.
Lummy Batesy, what are you doing here?
Well, I'm rather afraid I'm the designer.
And another department of TTV bit the dust.
How did you come to be mixed up with the commercial telly?
I was recommended by BBC Telly.
Oh, they're a ruthless lot at Lime Grove.
Mr. Bates, are you by any chance doing the designs for the Z Ambulances set?
No, I've done them. To be on the safe side, I've designed an exact copy of a ward in the Troutbridge General Hospital. Here we are.
Oh, yes, I must say, it does look jolly authentic.
Yes, certainly does.
And unfortunately, it is.
Well, what do you mean, unfortunately?
Well, there's a slight snag, sir. Now, look, here's the east wall.
Yeah, oh, yes.
And the south wall.
Where? Oh, yes.
And here's the west wall.
Oh, nice.
And the north wall.
Oh, lovely. Yes, it's all there.
Exactly. It's got 4 walls. It's a solid box.
Yes.
Are we supposed to get the flipping cameras inside?
Tricky. I know. Look, as there's no ceiling, perhaps we could lower one through. I do see what you mean.
Mr. Bates.
Say no more. I'm on my way back to the drawing board and my bit of bungee. See you later.
Hello?
Is cameraman Goldstein here? I'm fed up with polishing my lenses and showing the test card. When am I going to get something I can snap?
Oh, very shortly, I hope, Goldstein. There's been a slight hold-up with the sets, but we hope to have the first camera rehearsal of Z Ambulances in the morning.
Do you? Well, I hope you're right, because I want to get in as much practice as possible before transmission time on Tuesday.
Why?
Tuesday's my evening off.
What? Goldstein, you can't rehearse the show, then take transmission time off. You must be there.
Ooh. Well, in that case, I'll volunteer to stay. A double time and another evening off in lieu.
What a funny way to spend the evening.
Good morning.
No, Goldstein. Hello. I have a good mind to phone him back and really tell him what I think of him.
Why don't you work out a right mouthful and let him have it at camera rehearsal tomorrow instead, eh?
Yes, don't let me know what you're going to call him, because I don't want to repeat it when he cops my fruity diatribe. After.
Now, you know me, Fatso. I never was one to complain. Why, I keep asking myself, why is ace cameraman Goldstein only TTV's second cameraman instead of their first?
Well, offhand, I'd say it's because I'm there first.
Exactly. Nothing personal, mind, Fatso, but I reckon it's blatant favouritism brought about by the anti-Welsh element on the board of directors.
No, it isn't, Taff, no. It was a question of experience and length of service.
How do you make that out? When did you join Troutbridge television service?
Last Friday week.
Well, so did I.
What time?
12:30.
Ah, there you are then. I joined at 20 past.
And just what is the Welsh wangling word basher yakking on about this morning?
Charming. Remember that little mouthful, Fatso, will you? I may want to send it to my Uncle Edwin, the solicitor and ironmonger, for a bit of sewing.
What, is this kettle flogging falling off a bit? Now look, are you two photographical geniuses ready for the rehearsal?
Well, we would be if there was anything to photograph.
Ah, yes. Well, there's been a bit of a hold-up with the scenery.
Why? Another strike at Dagenham?
Your relatives get everywhere. No, Mr. Bates dropped a four-sided clanger.
Mr. Pertwee, can you spare a minute?
Aye, what's Alfred Hitchcock want? Come in, Alf! Come in, Mr. Murray. I was just checking the camera crew were ready, sir.
Yeah, well, never mind them. Have you seen any sign of our leading actor, Mr. Alastair Scott Hansen?
Not so much as a hafen between his double barrels.
Now, there's no need to panic just because we haven't got any scenery or actors, and first episode is supposed to go out tomorrow night. I mean, all we have to... I think I'm going to faint.
Yes, well, that might help.
Yeah, if we were short of leading actresses, it would have been a piece of cake, sir. I mean, a quick word and the shell like a wiggling Winnie, and I'm sure she'd have applied.
Yes, I'm sure she would have done too, and that would not have helped.
She's very artistic-metistical, sir.
She is also a bit rude.
Yes, but just a minute. Just a minute. Who was it who suggested rough realism? Tell me that. What could be more realistic than wiggling Winnie in the examination room when the doctor says, take all your clothes? I wonder if Mr. Scott Hansen will belong, sir.
I trust not. I also trust that Mr. Bates will produce the odd morsel of scenery between now and tomorrow night. If he doesn't, Z Ambulances is going to look as bare as that was the week that was without the studio audience.
Yes, and that reminds me. Who are those chorus girls they always show at the end of the programme?
Well, I don't know who the other two are, sir, but the one in the middle is Wiggling Winnie.
Who else?
My dear chaps, I'm absolutely prostrate with apologies. 1,000, no, 1,000,000 apologies.
Pardon? Oh, you must be Mr. Scott.
A hafen.
Hansen.
But of course. I've had an absolutely ghastly time trying to park my penny farthing.
Penny farthing?
Well, as an actor, one does like to be recognised. Not that anyone will ever forget me after my last little telly-epic. I doubt if I shall ever live that stinker down.
Well, let's get down to the first episode of Z Ambulances, shall we? Unfortunately, there's been a slight hold-up with the scenery for the ward, so we better run through the actual ambulance sequences. Mr. Phillips, you've rehearsed this stuff, haven't you?
Oh, yes, in a scout's hut that Maigret wouldn't have been seen dead in.
We'll start from where the ambulance is proceeding to Old Town, Mr. Scott Hansen, and Phillips and I will go up into the control room and see how it looks. Now, are we all set, Janet?
Not quite. I've got trouble with my stopwatch.
Now, what's wrong with it?
It stopped.
Then watch it. Control room, what is it, Pertwee?
If we're going to have any more of jokes like that, would you mind turning my earphones off, sir?
Sorry, pardon. Stand by, studio. We'll take it from scene 5 in the ambulance driving compartment.
Do you want the sound effect of the motor running?
Yes, please.
Short scene, wasn't it?
I think we can safely assume that they've got the wrong record on.
Perhaps they were playing the record too fast and it couldn't take the corner. On the other hand, well, it could be that I'm talking utter nonsense.
Tell Grams to try again, please, Janet.
Q Grams, shuffle the last lot up and try again, please.
Q Hansen, fade up sound and vision.
You know your trouble, Clancy. You need another packet of chips.
Yeah. If we hadn't got an emergency in the back, I'd have had 'em and all, you great Scottish nit. Do you ever reel the like of that tearaway in the back, I broke my leg, he says. Too lazy to set it himself.
Aye. There's no helping some people.
Yeah, they must think we've got naught else to do but drive this ambulance round picking up casualties.
BD to Z Ambulance 1. BD, whatever that is. To Z Ambulance 1, report your position.
We're sitting in the front seats, love.
Thank you, Z Ambulance 1.
Here. And do you know what Dr. Barlow said we should have done when we brought in that bloke? That bloke who'd been knocked down by a tram. I nearly said a pram then. Knocked down by a tram and broken his leg.
No.
He said next time tell him to hop on a bus.
BD to Z Ambulance 1. Proceed at once to the Rover's Return where an incident has been reported.
Oh, blimey. Ena Sharples has bought a drink at last.
On our way, love.
Fade. Cut to interior of pub.
Shot 5.
Pertwee, clear Hanson and what's his name from the ambulance set. Coming to the pub set now. Pertwee. Can you hear me, Pertwee? Peekaboo, Pertwee. That's odd. Where's he gone? Perty.
His earphones must have gone dead.
I don't think so. So look. He's on the pub set behind the bar.
What? Pertwee!
What's that? What's that? I'm busy serving the customers.
Lummy, who put real beer in the bar?
You're right. Even Pertwee can't get like that on cold tea. Pertwee, cue the actors to start.
Here, most of them are halfway through their fourth already.
Pertwee, what's been going on? I told you I didn't want real beer in that pub scene. I just wanted something that looks like it.
I know, but it's not beer, it's scotch.
Go on, they're all drinking pints.
In that case, an actor's life for me.
And for me.
Pertwee, stop that.
Which way did it go?
Come out of there and cue in Mr. Hanson and the other driver.
Yeah, you know what you are, don't you? You're a spoil sport.
Cue them to enter.
Oh, very well. I've had enough already.
Camera 1 onto the pub door. We want to see Jock and Clancy enter and see the fight in progress.
Shot 7.
Jock, we should pick up a full load here.
Right. Fists, bottles, furniture, they're using a lot.
Yeah.
Mr. Narrator!
Shut up, Pertwee.
Camera 2, close up on the landlord as he breaks the chair over Hanson's head.
Mr. Narrator!
Be quiet.
What should we do first, Clancy? Pick up the casualties or join in the fight? Oh! Stone me and shades of Gladys Cooper. Who did that? Stop the action. I want a word. Acting, I'll do. Getting clobbered with a chair is another thing. That's out. Right out. Who's the equity representative? I've got an absolute corker of a complaint.
What on earth is going on down...
Mr. Narrator! Please!
Oh, what is it, Pertwee?
I'm very sorry to interrupt. Well, would you mind sending for a real ambulance?
What? Something happened to Mr. Hanson?
No, to me. It's these drinks. The first lot was scotch, but the rest really was cold tea. And I don't feel very well.
Mr. Bates.
Yes.
Mr. Bates, we have exactly 3 minutes before we go on the air with the first episode of Z Ambulances. Would you mind telling me just how you propose we do it?
I've no idea. But your predicament does seem to be just the tiniest bit my fault, I'll agree.
What happened?
Well, I sent the first lot of designs down to the scenic department by mistake, so they've made up the ward with 4 solid walls, and I rather wish I was dead.
Well, it could be worse. At least ace cameraman Goldstein is walled up inside.
Well, has he got his camera in there as well?
Oh, no, that's still outside where he left it before we walled... It's not going to help, though, is it?
No, not by the time he's chatted his Uncle Edwin the solicitor and ironmonger about it, no.
What are we going to do? How are we going to shoot that scene in the ward? There isn't time to take one of the walls down now.
Oh, I know. Look. Shoot it all from a camera above, like Mr. Phillips suggested originally, sir.
Oh, did I suggest that? I say, I am proud. Shrewd, that's what you are, Leslie, shrewd. A keen brain, coupled with an ability to grasp a situation quickly.
Well, grasp this one. We haven't got a camera above that set.
Oh, well, a chap can't think of everything.
Look, there's only one thing for it. Look, that's how we'll have to do it with the camera crane, sir. Look, if we set it to maximum height, the camera could just about clear the top of the walls. Mind you, if it has to lift the camera and Fatso, that motor's going to get flaming hot.
Mr. Maury, it's my only 30 seconds to go before transmission.
What? But we go down and warn Johnston he's going to be airborne. We'll give him instructions from this control room here.
Yeah, with pleasure, sir, but he won't like it. I've told him to flutter off in the past, but he never has.
Hurry, man, hurry! Fade up sound on the monitor screen, please, Janet.
This is the Troutbridge television service, Troutbridge's favourite television.
Mr. Murray, I've just told Fatso that he's for the high jump and he wants a word.
What is it, Johnson?
I'm not happy. I'm definitely not happy. Fatso doesn't want to fly through the air with the greatest of difficulty. I don't know whose idea it was, but he's a rotten, and a rotten, stinking rotten at that.
Shut up, Johnson. Get on with it.
I don't want to. I want to go home. I'm not happy.
Pertwee, get him up on that crane camera. The commercials are coming up.
With pleasure, sir. Come on, alley up, Tub.
I don't want to go. Put me down. You don't know where I've been.
I am the technical sales manager of Winstanley Washing Machines, and I've got news of a great breakthrough in our industry. Here at the Winstanley Washing Machine Factory, laboratory tests have shown that 90%. With the latest equipment, Winstanley technicians worked behind locked doors for 5 years in order to ensure Winstanley washing machines increase your consumer participation washability by 15% over any other washing machine. Don't forget that for the next month, every Winstanley washing machine will have an absolutely free, newly minted penny stuck to its lid. Winstanley's technicians are proud of that penny. Hurry while stocks last, so you can spend it.
Bully for Winstanley.
Never mind, Winstanley. Look at the monitor screen. Fatso's only halfway up the wall.
I'm not surprised. I'm halfway up the wall myself.
Pertwee, what's happening? Why doesn't camera 1 go up?
It can't, sir. There's a voltage reduction, and that's as high as it can lift, Fatso.
Janet, get our electricians to compensate for the voltage reduction, quick.
Right.
And now, TTV presents the first episode of its serial, Z Ambulances.
Right, twiddle the titles. Whiz the words round.
Roll captions.
You're so right.
Electrician switching on the booster for the power in 10 seconds, sir.
At last. Fade up sound in studio. Cue them.
Get it up! Go on, get it up, you great lump! Get the camera above the wall!
I can't, it's stuck.
I don't remember those lines in the script.
They aren't in it. That's Pertwee and Johnston. They're under the microphone.
Go on, wriggle about! Shake yourself! No, don't shiver. Look, do something to get it up, for Pete's sake, you 2-ton tearaway.
Power booster coming on. Now.
No, it's no good. It won't budge. I've tried everything.
Lummy. Didn't half go, didn't he?
Fatso, where are you?
Up on the roof. Who did it? Who flung Fatso up here? He's a rotten, dirty, stinking rotten. Get me down. I want to come down. I'm not happy. Get me down, somebody. I want my mum, Minnie.
morning, sir. We can explain.
But it's a long story.
So we won't bother you with it now, sir.
We'll call back, sir.
When you're not so busy.
About 1985.
What a lovely office you've got here.
Enchanting.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, nice to have seen you, sir.
Remember, studio.
Come back here.
I said it wouldn't work.
Never has yet, sir.
Well, one can but try.
Will you be quiet and listen to me? I am not going to dwell on the subject of your completely novel 5-second transmission last night. My feelings about that will be better expressed in a long, long memo to the company's directors.
I was afraid it might.
Would it help, sir, if we each bought a Winstanley washing machine?
No, it would not.
Oh, well, then we won't bother then, will we?
Well, if you're not going to discuss our slightly shortened version of Z Ambulances, sir, what exactly is it that's wrong?
What's wrong? What's wrong? I'll tell you what's wrong.
Well, that's jolly nice of you, isn't it?
You two must have seen it because you both initialed it this morning. It's Pertwee's claim form for expenses last night. Now listen to it. Item 1. To buying a 50-foot ladder to get cameraman Johnston back. £35.10.
Yeah, well, it was up a heck of a height, sir.
Item 2. To buying a second 50-foot ladder because the first one broke. 45 guineas. Item 3. To hiring a helicopter to get Johnston out through the roof because the second ladder wasn't strong enough either. 62 guineas. Item 4. To buying a new power winch for the helicopter because the first one fused. £18 2 and 6pence.
Yes, well, they'll all come in handy again in a minute, won't they, sir?
Come in handy? What for?
I've just remembered another disaster, sir. This cameraman Goldstein is still walled up inside Mr. Bates's set. Yeah, we forgot to let him out last night and all.
And that was Leslie Phillips, Stephen Murray and John Pertwee doing an unfortunate to the TV Lark, written by Lawrie Wyman. Leslie Phillips was the director, Stephen Murray was the producer, John Pertwee was the floor manager. Henry Povey was played by Richard Caldecott, Taffy Goldstein was Tenniel Evans, and the controller of TTV was played by Michael Bates. The recorded production was by Alastair Scott Johnston. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the TV Lark with our 3 stars, Stephen Murray, John Pertwee and Leslie Phillips. Running a television service isn't all Steptoe and Ena Sharples. There's the paperwork that whizzes about from one in-tray to another. Troutbridge television service is no exception to this rule, and it's been in existence long enough now for the memos to have become reasonably baffling. At least they have to Mr. Phillips in the production office at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good gracious.
What's the matter?
You're here first. You feeling all right?
Well, a chap can't help it if he's a keen, punctual, loyal to the company type, you know.
Yeah, oh, quite. But what happened to you?
My alarm clock went off 2 hours early.
Oh, what a shame.
It wasn't funny. I had to walk here in the dark. You know I'm frightened of the dark.
Well, if you haven't got a girl with you, yes.
That's true. If I've got a girl with me, she's the one that's frightened of the dark as well.
Yeah, shall we get on? Early bird? Anything in the post this morning?
No. Only letters.
I'll try again. Anything of interest in the post this morning?
Oh, well, there are these 2 directives I can't quite sort out. First one reads, from Henry Povey, Deputy Controller of Programmes, TTV, to all staff. Time of origin, 12:15. All memos, re-programmes to be sent direct to Controller forthwith.
Well, that's clear enough. What's the other one?
From Gervais Batsford Shaw, Controller of Programmes, TTV, to all staff, including Deputy Controller. Time of origin, 12:30. Everyone will cease to clutter up my office with unnecessary codswallop forthwith.
Yeah, I see.
What do we do with the program memos now, sir?
Same as we've always done, of course.
Oh, nasty.
No, put them in the file marked pending instructions.
Oh, no. Now, why didn't I think of that?
Probably because you're our Les and a bit of a nit.
Yes, that could account for...
Obviously, Mr. Gervais, Batsford, Shaw, and old Thunderguts have got together and ganged up on us.
Yes, you could be right, sir. And they're not the only ones.
Oh?
Well, Leslie's mater ganged up on him this morning as well. I got a letter from her with an invitation to one of those terrible fancy dress balls all the Debs go to.
Well, in London, you mean? Why didn't you ring mater up and say you're too busy?
I wouldn't dare, sir. I mean, this invitation came with a 3-line whip.
When's it for?
It's tomorrow night, and I think it's a plot. Mater's been trying to get me married off for years. Goodness knows why.
Perhaps she wants to let your room at the castle to a lodger.
Oh, very funny, sir. It's very... These days, Mater couldn't even afford the water rate for the moat. Let alone the rest of a castle. I mean, she lives in a block of flats owned by some woman called Elsie Council.
Elsie LCC.
Yeah, well, very likely. I mean, the point is, what does Leslie wear at this Deb do tomorrow night?
Well, why don't you have a word with Mr. Pertwee? He'll be able to fix you up with a costume from wardrobe department.
I say, do you think he would?
Certainly. At a price, of course. Come in.
Hello? Ooh, there's a thing.
Is there a where? What? Oh, I see. I mean, what?
You're in.
What is it, Vera? Another little billet-doux from old Thunderguts?
Another little what?
Note.
Oh, yes, he just got me to type it.
And what's this one about?
I don't know, I only typed it, I didn't read it.
Oh, that's silly of me. Fancy it. Hey, just a minute. Just a minute. How can you type something without reading it?
Well, it's a trick they teach you at secretarial school. Like how to get rid of your boss by leaving the top off your nail polish remover.
Yeah, it works, too.
It does indeed. Now, let's see this memo.
I've already seen it. I don't think I feel very well.
What's it about?
An additional program for tomorrow night.
Ooh, crumbs. Will Cliff Richard be in it?
I doubt it. It's a party political broadcast.
Well, that settles it. I'm going to wash my hair tomorrow night. Enjoy yourselves. Ta-ta.
Now then, production team under Mr. Murray will take transmitting van with mobile cameras to House of Commons, where arrangements have been made for broadcast from room to be allocated. Signed, Henry Povey.
P.S. Please don't interfere with foreign policy, start civil war, or wreck Big Ben.
P.P.S. Please leave ignition key in van so we can collect it if you get flung in the Tower of London.
And that's what I like, sir. Blind confidence.
Cheer up. At least you'll get a free trip to London for your Deb do. The transmission's at 9 o'clock, so you'll be just in time.
That's a great comfort. I suppose I'd better go and tell Pertwee about this. See what I can arrange for me about a fancy dress. I think I'll go as somebody historical.
What had you in mind? Ethelred the Unready?
If I did, I know who I wouldn't have as my court jester.
Pity. I should have enjoyed creeping into your court, quipping and creeping out again.
I shall see you later, I suppose.
Johnston! Johnston, where are you?
Hiding from you, mate.
Well, if you're trying to do so behind that camera, you're not succeeding. There are bits of Johnston showing either side.
What do you want, then? And whatever it is, I haven't got one because you never gave it me back last time.
Prove it. Now, listen, I want fourpence.
Do you? Good luck, then.
No, I want fourpence from you, mate.
Good morning.
Look, don't panic! I want to make a phone call, so I want 4 pennies in exchange for this threepenny bit and 2 halfpennies.
Well, why didn't you use the company's phone?
Because this happens to be a call of a private and confidential nature, that's why.
Oh,
There's an ugly rumour going around that we've got to go up to town with a mobile van.
Oh, I get it. And you want to ring up one of your milady acquaintances in London and make a date with her, eh?
No, I don't. I want to ring up my Uncle Ebenezer and tell him to let us have the mobile van back. A bit sharpish.
Eh? What's he doing with it?
Delivering coon and kook in tiny bags at 8 bob each.
What, in our van? You must be potty.
Well, I had to help the old fool out, didn't I? I mean, his chitty bang bus got through us up solid in the icy weather. You know, this coal racket can't last much longer. Might be 15 years before this fiddle comes round again.
Yeah. If Povey finds out, it'll be 15 years before you come round again and all.
Now, look, stop wasting time. Look, have you got 4 pennies or not?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh.
I have a nasty sneaking suspicion that I'm not going to have them a great deal longer, though.
No, you're not. You're going to have a nice, shiny, threepenny bit and 2 dodgy old halfpennies instead.
I don't like it. There's a cat somewhere here.
Of course there isn't. Here they are, then. Where's your 4 pennies?
Here.
Oh, come on, hand them over.
Goodbye, pennies.
Thanks very much. Now then, here's your... Oh, hello, Taffy. Here, come here a minute, will you?
What's up?
No, just a tick. Right, Fatso, here you are. 1 threepenny bit and 2 halfpennies.
I don't believe it.
It's a pleasure. That's 4pence you owe me.
Hey? Wait a minute, how do you make that out?
Taffy!
Eh?
Did you or did you not just see me give Fatso a shiny, shiny threepenny bit and 2 dodgy halfpennies?
I did that.
Yeah, but wait a
Don't
minute.
argue! I've got a witness. You owe me 4pence.
You're rotten, that's what you are, rotten. And absolutely rock-bottom rotten and all. If rotten's worth a shilling each, you'll be an half a crown reduced for clearance, rotten you. I want Fatso's 4pence back. Give me me pennies back.
Mr. Pertwee, did you require my presence for anything else? Or did you drag me over just to work some kind of underhanded fiddle I'm sure I only saw half of?
Hey? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a rumour floating about that we may have to do an outside broadcast from the smoke. So you better check your equipment.
Well, that's going to be a bit of a problem, isn't it? Last time I saw my outside broadcast equipment, it was delivering coal and coke in flaming expensive little bags.
Where'd you see that?
Well, I didn't so much see as hear. He's got your auntie sitting on the roof where I'm supposed to be with a camera, and she's shouting her head off. Coal, 8 bob a bag, and every nut a blazing inferno.
Stone me! If old Thunderguts cops a lug-hole full of that, TTV have another extra programme on their hands.
What do you mean?
A picture of Pertwee and a voice saying, "If you see this gent, please inform him that police are flaming certain that it can help in their inquiries."
I can't wait for that. When charged, Mr. Pertwee asked for another offence to be considered. To fiddle in a fast 4pence out of Fatso.
All right. I can't waste my time talking to you two hysterical birds of prey. I've got to get that van back.
Well, if you do persuade your uncle to part with it, so I can get on with my work, you will make sure he takes the coal out first, won't you? From what I've heard, it's open cast muck. And if my Aunt Morpeth ever found out I'd been in a van that had anything but good Welsh nuts in it, she'd bash me one over the pithead.
Yes, well, you can tell her that that van always has a Welsh nut in it. You.
Hello, you chaps.
And here's an English one. Hello, Mr. Phillipson.
I was wondering if you could do me a favour.
Well, if you want to borrow 4pence, he can.
That'll do.
If you want a bag or 2 of coal, he knows just...
Out up, Johnston! Go and polish your zoom lens or something. Now then, you were saying, sir?
Well, I've got to go to a fancy dress ball after the extra transmission tomorrow night.
Oh, there definitely is an extra one, then?
Oh, yes, from the House of Commons.
Oh, perhaps you could persuade the Speaker to give your auntie a hand shouting coal, could
Will you cook up? One more and so help me, you'll get Pertwee's boot in your safe seat.
Now, just a minute. What was he talking about?
What was it? What was he talking about? He was rambling. He was rambling, so rambling he was. Yeah. A very sad case.
Yeah.
Very sad. The lights.
Oh.
Studio lights. That's what it was. You see. Give him sunstroke, sir, the lights do. Yes. Rambles on alarming, they do at times.
Yes, but...
You will be thinking of asking Dr. Kildare if he could prescribe us some anti-ramble ointment.
Pertwee.
Sir.
The studio lights aren't on.
Hey? Oh, yeah. Well, there we are then.
Are we?
Hope so, yeah. Hey, it's a power cut, sir. You see, so now he's worse because he's chock-a-block full of static.
Oh, nasty.
Yeah, very so. So you're going to a fancy dress ball, eh, sir?
Am I really? Oh, yes, of course. Yes, I was wondering, as you're in charge of the wardrobe department...
Yes, sir, yes.
Well, I was wondering if you could...
Yes, sir, yes.
Well, sort of, see your way clear.
Yes,
to,
yes.
Well, sort of let me borrow, just for the evening.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
Some sort of historical costume.
Yes, sir.
That a chap could wear.
Yes.
To a fancy dress ball tomorrow.
How much?
What?
Well, what's it worth?
I'd say about 3 bags of coal, wouldn't you?
Johnson! Now listen, come here. If you must speak, Johnston, wait until you're spoken to. And you're not going to be, so belt up and vanish.
Yes, so go and have a lie down, old chap, and I hope you feel better tomorrow.
Come on, sir, let's get down to the wardrobe department, and we'll see what we can sort out for you in the way of a gent's natty historical methodical costumery, eh?
Oh, well done, because I shall have to take it with me when we go up in the van to the House of Commons tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I say, I do hope they've got a changing room there.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, they must have you. I mean, some years ago, there was one member who went in a Liberal, and he came out a Conservative Prime Minister.
Oh, really? Who was that?
Naming no names. Just watch me fingers, sir.
Halt! Pull up.
Oh, the police.
And just where do you think you might be going?
We're from Troutbridge Television, officer. We are expected.
Not by me, you're not.
Well, we're supposed to transmit a pretty hysterical broadcast. No. I mean a portly participle. A partly puritanical.
Party political.
Exactly. Yes. Well, one of them anyway.
Haven't you been informed by anyone here or from our deputy controller, Mr. Povey?
Povey? Oh, now why didn't you mention him before?
Well, he's not a chap we like dropping into the conversation if we can help it.
I know what you're talking about now. He's here.
What?
Yes. Said something about not being able to sleep unless he saw with his own eyes that the building was still standing when you left.
Yeah, that's him, all right.
Well, you drive over to that entrance there, and a chap there will tell you where he is.
Thanks very much, Constable.
Here. Is your mate in the middle all right?
Mr. Pertwee, I think so. Why?
He's got his raincoat over his head and he ain't said nothing.
No, he ain't. I mean, no, he hasn't, has he? You're not ill, are you, Pertwee?
No, sir.
Then why didn't you say something?
It's a family tradition, sir.
Family tradition?
Yes, sir. When there's a copper about, the Pertwees keep their traps shut.
Oh, yes, of course. Drive on, Mr. Phillips.
Through there, if you would, gentlemen. You'll find Mr. Povey and the member for Troutbridge West taking tea on the terrace.
Lummy. In this weather?
Oh, yes. Yes, Sir Jimson always has his afternoon cuppa on the terrace, sir. Winter and summer. Well, it's a lovely view of the Thames, and the river is very handy for tipping the tea leaves in it.
Oh, how common.
Well, Mr. Phillips, this is the House of Commons.
Oh, the aristocracy of such pretty ways, I must say. Fancy tipping your slops in the river. Well, fag ends if you like, but slops...
All right, Pertwee, that'll do. As one who, whenever he's offered a cup of tea, always pinches the spoon, I'd keep quiet if I were you.
Oh, so that's where all our canteen cutlery has gone, eh?
Lead on, Mr. Phillips.
Certainly, sir.
Ah, so you've got here at last, have you? Well, let's hear the worst. What have you hit on the way? Who is suing us for damages? How long will it take to repair the cameras? And which hospital is whoever's fault it was in?
Surprising as it may seem, sir, we had a completely uneventful journey.
Oh, dear. That means the disaster is yet to come. Sir Jimson, are you sure you wouldn't like to cancel this television appearance? I shan't rest until I get these idiots off the premises. With them here in the House of Commons, it could well mean goodbye to this realm, this sceptred isle, this England.
I say, that's jolly good, sir. Did you make it up yourself?
No, of course not, sir. It's from the French. Ode to a blasted heath.
Pertwee, remember where you are.
Yes, well, gentlemen, I believe you've met our member, Sir Jimson Whittaker Smythe.
Yes, rather.
Oh, John, jolly nice of you to... Oh, it's jolly... I said it. Do you mind when I'm talking? It's very decent. Oh, shove a duster in it and muffle the thing, somebody. Oh, it never fails. Soon as I say something, boy. It's 12 years before I could make my maiden speech. I only got it in then because it was an all-night sitting and it was switched off for repairs.
It must be murder out here with an hangover, Sir Jim.
Yeah. Right then, let's have the thing. Have the thing? What thing, sir?
Well, the petition. You're that lot of backbenchers demanding we send a gunboat to That Was the Week That Was, aren't you?
No, not exactly, sir. We're from TTV. This is the production team for your party political broadcast this evening.
Are you really? Well, it takes all sorts, I suppose. Have a cup of tea.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, jolly nice of you.
8 lumps, Tarser Jim.
I was wondering, sir, as this is a great day for TTV, our first visit to the house and so on, I was wondering...
Well, get a move on and say it, or that flaming clock will start again.
Yes, sir. I was wondering if, as a permanent record of TTV's first visit to the seat of government, we could take some publicity photographs.
Oh, why not? Why not? Capital idea, yes. Well, it'll make a change from the ones of me curly-headed mate riding his sprawncy bike up and down his underpass, won't it?
Yes, it would indeed, sir. I've brought the camera with me, so perhaps Mr. Phillips would be good enough to take a snap of Sir Jimson and me together.
Me? Oh, why me? Couldn't Pertwee do it?
Yeah, exactly, sir. I'd be only too pleased to oblige, and if Sir Jim would care to order half a dozen postcard size afterwards, I could let them have them at a very reasonable price.
No, thank you, Pertwee. Apart from anything else, if I let you take them, we'd never see the camera again.
Oh, I think you'll get the camera back, sir. It's just that it wouldn't have any lens anymore.
Is the Attorney General about? Pertwee wants a tip or two about deflation of character.
Be quiet, Pertwee. Now, hurry up, Mr. Phillips. We're keeping Sir Jimson waiting.
I'm just trying to get you into focus, sir.
Well, 6 to 4, just as he's ready, that flaming clock will chime again and make him jog it.
Here, why don't you try a high-angle shot, Mr. Phillips?
What a good idea. What's that?
Come here, sir. Look, nip up on the balustrade, sir, and take one of the happy couple from above.
Oh, yeah, yes. Give me a hand up, will you, Pertwee?
I've got a sort of premonition that this isn't a good idea.
He'll be all right, Mr. Money, sir. Don't worry. Come on, Mr. Phillips, sir. Up's a delicate daisy.
So, you know, this balcony is jolly narrow. A chap could easily...
I was right. It wasn't a good idea.
Mr. Phillips, well and truly launched into the Thames, sir.
The camera. Tell him to keep it out of the water. I've signed for it.
No. Don't do something, somebody. Leslie's all wet.
Well, he's found out at last.
Shall I fish him out before he invites us to come on in because the water's fine, sir?
Yes, of course, quick. And don't let him drop that camera.
Yeah, has he taken his snap yet? I can't keep smiling much longer.
No, not yet, sir. He's decided to make it an underwater picture instead. One rope coming down. Bullseye! Right in his bonds.
Now, all together, gentlemen. Pull on the rope and let's get him back.
Right, heave! Ho! All together, heave! Ho!
Steady on, not so fast.
Heave! Ho! Hello, we've got a bite.
Oh, that's very funny. I'm freezing. I'm freezing.
Yes, you're also a little potent. I take it that it was low tide.
Cool, stone me, sir. Look at him. He's all covered in tea leaves.
And what might best be described as byproducts.
Well, if that's what they are, that's one product I'll never buy.
In your own words, Mr. Phillipson, I'd say you could best be described as an ooh nasty.
Get changed, man, for goodness sake.
How can I, sir? I haven't got anything else with me, sir.
Yes, you have, sir. In the van. You're historically clerical costumes.
Well, I can't walk about like that.
Well, Hobson's choice, I'd say, sir. You most certainly can't walk about in what you've got on either. You're a bit too fruity by far.
Hey, what's going on? What costume is this you're talking about?
Oh, well, that's the one I let him have out of the... Clang.
Oh, when are we going to see the birdie? My jaw's started to ache. If I have to smile like this much longer, people will think I'm Russ Conway.
Our apologies, sir. Pertwee, you take the picture while Phillips changes, for goodness sake.
Right, delighted, sir. Give us the camera. So, now let's see. A 2.8 coated lens, second-hand, should fetch about...
Pertwee,
sir?
before you nick the lens, you might put the teaspoons back. Sufficient unto the day, you know.
This way, madam, sir. You'll find the rest of the telemob in here with the member for Troutbridge West.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me, Miss Janet Brown and Mr. Reuben Bowl.
No, Robin Boyle.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, you've got here then. Come in, come in. There's not much time left. We've only just got this room fixed up.
Were you held up by the constable on the gate?
No, by Robin's car.
Hey, what? You came in that thing? I didn't even know it got through its 50-year test.
All right. It's not that old, mate. It doesn't go on steam, you know.
Well, halfway up here, there was so much smoke about it, I thought it did.
Well, you would have the heater on.
What's happened to Mr. Phillips? Where's he gone?
He's changing by popular vote.
You know what a wild, open-air life lad he is. He couldn't resist going for a dip.
He did what?
Dropped in the river from the Great Heart.
Oh, trust him.
No, gentlemen, please. Time is getting terribly
Yes,
short.
quite, sir. Now, Sir Jimson, if you'd like to take up your position behind the desk, we'll line the TV cameras up on the opposite side.
If you don't mind, who will?
Sorry, pardon. Mr. Johnston, TTV's first cameraman, will line up the shot.
Sir, my friend Mr. Goldstein told me I wasn't to allow the enemies of Welsh Home Rule to trample me underfoot in their den of iniquity.
Quite.
He also gave me these pamphlets containing a rip-roaring bit of chat from his Aunt Morpeth, which he wants me to distribute freely amongst the assembled company of die-hard, stick-in-the-mud, anti-Welsh bar
Johnson!
variants.
For one delicious moment, I thought he was going to forget there were ladies present.
Didn't we all?
Where on earth is Phillips? He should be here by now.
We just had to carry on without him.
But without wishing to be unkind, I doubt if we shall notice any difference.
Slight improvement, perhaps. Come on, Perky, we'd better go into the little ante-room.
Come again?
The makeshift control room next door.
Oh, well, one likes to know. After using.
Have you got everything you want, Sir Jimson?
Yes. No, just a tick. Where are my notes for me completely spontaneous, off-the-cuff fireside chat?
I think that's them in the carelessly left open drawer in your desk.
Oh, exactly, sir. And if you glance down from time to time, you'll be able to read every word.
Oh, I know the tricks of the trade, all right. I've been through the course at headquarters. Desk thumping, look left, and wave your right arm about. Take your glasses off 3 words before the end of every sentence. They taught us a lot.
Don't forget the one where you point forward 3 times like a man trying to hang a cap up on a hook that isn't there.
Robin. Hello. We'll take the opening shot of you under the picture of Gladstone and then pan across to Sir Gibson.
Fair enough.
Far be it from me to rush anybody, but 20 seconds to go.
Good luck, everyone. And may I say...
No, sir. No, there isn't time, sir. This way, sir. Into the control room, quick.
10 seconds to go.
Where on earth is Mr. Phillips? He must have changed by now.
Perhaps he couldn't find a screen to hide behind.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fade up sound and vision.
This is the Troutbridge television service, Troutbridge's favourite television. And now, in conjunction with the BBC, we present a party political broadcast.
We hope.
Direct from the House of Commons, here is the member for Troutbridge West, Sir Jimson Whittaker Smythe, MP.
There you go. My friends, when I was asked to speak to you this evening, my immediate reaction was, why should you want to hear from a run-of-the-mill, ordinary sort of chap like me? It was only after I'd had a chat with my head gardener and second footman that I realized that I, as a man of the people, could perhaps put my party's policy in terms that even the hoi polloi could understand. Oh, creeping ivy! That blasted thing never fails. Shut up! Down, Ben! As my dear wife said, Jimson, she said, for like any other wife, she doesn't stand on ceremony when we're inside our humble home. Jimson, she said,
After him! He may be a ghost!
Keep off, I can explain. I'm a British citizen. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the way.
He's the one constable lurking in the House of Commons isn't allowed, and he was.
What on earth? Who the place is? Good grief, Phillips.
Stop! In the name of the law!
Not likely. I demand to see the proprietor of this establishment. Where's the Major of the Hotel to the Commons?
Jimson, she said, how can you possibly...
You might as well give up. We've got your corner now.
But you don't understand. Major and the Debs are expecting me. This is fancy dress.
Unlikely story. Stay where you are.
Cut it. Cut sound and vision, quick. Cut sound and vision. I knew something would happen. What's going on? Will somebody tell me what all the fuss is about?
Well, I think it must be Mr. Phillips's fancy dress costume, sir.
Fancy dress costume?
Well, it just never occurred to me. Lend me something historic, all he said. And well, I did. And I forgot we were coming to the House of Commons. I'm afraid that the costume I lent him was a high-class reproduction of the clobber worn by a gent called Guy Fawkes.
Oh, you would!
And that was Stephen Murray, John Pertwee and Leslie Phillips doing an unfortunate to the TV Lark, written by Lawrie Wyman. Stephen Murray was the producer, Leslie Phillips was the director, John Pertwee was the floor manager, Henry Povey was played by Richard Caldecott, Fatso Johnson was Ronnie Barker, Taffy Goldstein was Teniel Evans, Janet was Janet Brown, the policeman was Michael Bates, voice of TTV Robin Boyle, the recorded production was by Alastair Scott Johnston.
Next week's TV Lark coincides with the arrival back home on the liner Empress of Britannialand of the retiring Governor of Zatawigi-land, Field Marshal Sir Mortimer Bullingham Trench. He became a national figure through his heroic defence of Government House during the recent rebellion. Troutbridge Television is having a big programme about the stirring story, and through vast connections with the Admiralty have arranged that TTV's production team should go aboard the official welcoming destroyer, due to meet the liner at sea, and so steal a march on the rest of the press and the TV boys on shore. But too many unforgiving and resentful citizens of Pompey might notice Mr. Pertwee's return to their midst for his personal comfort or indeed his safety. He does not wish to go. But he has to in the end, as you'll hear if you listen to the TV Lark at the same time next Friday in the Light programme.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present the TV Lark with our 3 stars, John Pertwee, Leslie Phillips and Stephen Murray.
There's an old saying that your past always catches up with you. Well, being a shy, modest, good, clean-living young lad, I haven't got a past, so I wouldn't know. Sorry, son. Oh, rotter. However, the mob-running Troutbridge television service have the sort of past that not only catches up with them, this week it overtakes them. A visitor to the Deputy Controller, Henry Povey, alias Old Thunderguts, is the first person to start rocking the boat by demanding to see the production team.
Good Vera morning. Old Gutsy wants to thunder us.
He wants to what?
I mean, old Thundersea wants to gut us.
Mr. Phillips!
What? I mean, sir?
No, steady, lad. In spite of what your nanny said, there's no such thing as the bogeyman. Don't you believe it? Vera, I gather Mr. Povey has a visitor with him who wishes to see us. Do you happen to know who it is?
No idea, but he's a funny old trout.
Well, that settles it. We're doomed. Pack your bags, chaps. We're going to be sacked. We are, you know. We're all going to be sacked.
Yeah, that could be it.
Vera, please. Hello? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, bogeyman. I demand a reference. Where's my golden handshake? After all, I've been with the company a month, so if I don't qualify for an 8-day clock complete with a set of ding-dong-ding-dongs and a little brass plate on the front, I don't know what the country's coming to. Father's Day, a certain sort of...
Mr. Murray, shut old Father Time up, will you? Mr. Phillips.
But don't worry, the defense rests. It's got to. I've exhausted myself.
I'm delighted to hear it. Now, I hardly think I need introduce you to our guest. At last! I was wondering when you get round to me. Good gracious!
Lummy. The Admiral.
The Admiral has come here. Oh, do shut up, Povey, and let a chap get a word in. Rather, by all means, if you insist, sir. What's that? Rather have seen my sister. Are you bonkers? She's got a face like Khrushchev and a figure like a Nissen hut.
Oh, nasty.
Griefing, Ivy, when was the last time this man had his hair cut?
I haven't had time to get it done, sir.
Not since 1951. I can well believe it. Sort these men out, for pity's sake, Povey. They're a disgrace to the service.
They're not in the service now, sir. They've left the Royal Navy.
Oh, good. I was wondering how long +4s had been the rig of the day. Well, that's all settled then. See you all at Portsmouth in the morning.
Portsmouth?
That's it. You turn right on the way to Bognor.
If I could just explain to them. At 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, the liner Empress of Britannialand docks at Southampton. And aboard her will be the retiring governor of Weegiland, Field Marshal Sir Mortimer Bullingham Tench, OBE. And long service medal. I say, he's lived, hasn't he?
Well, to me, the whole project seems desperately fraught. But the Admiral has very kindly suggested that as my old ship, the destroyer Makepeace, will be meeting the Field Marshal and his wife at sea off the Isle of Wight and bringing them to Portsmouth from the liner, TTV ought to be the television company to cover the event.
But you mean we're to do an outside broadcast of the Field Marshal's arrival?
I do. The man's a national hero after that epic battle at Government House last month. Oh, do stop chuntering away there, Povey, or we'll be late.
Late, sir? What for?
What for? Well, it was your idea, not mine. You were the one who wanted to meet my sister. Heaven help you. Fascinating old biddy she is. Never got over the fact she couldn't marry the Kaiser, you know.
All right, gentlemen, this is going to take some time. I think you'd better carry on and let Pertwee and the rest of the team know they've got to go to Portsmouth in the morning. Now, is everything quite clear?
No.
Not quite, sir. There's one thing I don't understand.
What's that?
Why couldn't the Admiral's sister marry the Kaiser?
Sister marry.
Leave him to me, sir. Forward march, Noddy.
Look, Johnston. Look, Johnston, you're just not trying. Look, it's quite simple. Look. All you got to do is the tax inspector comes round, he swear blind you're a dependent relative of Pertwee's and Pertwee's in the clear.
Ah, I wondered all along how you got a tax code number so much higher than mine in Taffy's.
Yeah, well, I've listed him as a dependent relative and all.
Anybody else?
Oh, just Mr. Murray, Mr. Phillips, and old Thundergut.
Oh, blimey. When charged and asked if he had anything to say in his defence, Mr. Pertwee said, "No, Tom, my lord, this time I go on bingo."
No, I haven't.
You have, you know, and you mark your own cards and all. You can't muck about with the Inland Revenue like that.
Well, how can you muck about with them then?
But you should see an accountant.
Accountant?
Yeah.
You mean an accountant-certificator?
Oh, very nicely, but I couldn't say that, you see.
Yeah, well, they're no good anyway. I tried one the first week. Not guilty.
That is not the verdict of us all, my lord.
Oh, shut up, Yakbox.
Good morning, Pertwee. Oh, you've got Johnston with you as well. Well, that's good. I just left old Thundergut's office, and he wants us all to go to Portsmouth tomorrow.
Portsmouth? Did you say Portsmouth?
Yes, that's right. You remember. Pretty little dockyard just beyond West Wittering.
Yes, of course I remember it, sir. I remember it, and speaking for myself, I can't wait to see all the Macloos again. And the dockyard police. But it's it's my leg.
Ooh, what's the matter? What's the matter?
It's my leg, sir. It's my leg. They've struck again, sir. The all-powerful and dreaded twinging screws. Oh, what a sad day, sir. To think that one so young should be trapped in that vice-like grip just as he was about to be reunited with his comrades in arms. Oh, the unfairness of life's little whims.
Pertwee.
Sir.
What did you nick just before we left Portsmouth that you're sure somebody's missed by now?
Well, there were 2 kit bags, but I mean, it's a lie.
It's not, you know. I was the mug who had to carry the mate through the gates while you chatted the copper into looking the other way. Just a few personal souvenirs of a life gone by, he said they were. 14 blankets, 6 hammocks, 25 copies.
Johnson, I'm warning you.
I could come back later if it's more convenient.
Oh, hello, Mr. Phillips. Sorry, I've forgotten you were still here.
Oh, don't mind me. It's all been most instructive. I mean, now, when the Rosals come to march you off as soon as we get to Portsmouth, I shall know why.
Exactly. Me late, bring on the stretcher bearers. Steady as you go, lad. This is the one for handsome Dr. Kildare himself.
He's not, you know. This is the one for Portsmouth, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, spoken like a dependent relative, sir. You know what you do, Johnston, don't you? No. You snake. Eh? You stand on the stage lanes and you snake. You smirk and you snake. You're a smirky snake, man. That's what you are.
Yeah, what are we going to Portsmouth for, sir, apart from getting Mr. Pertwee arrested, that is?
Well, isn't that enough? No, actually, we're taking the mobile cameras down to cover the arrival of the ex-governor of Zatouiji land.
Oh, wow. Wasn't he the one who, just before Zatouiji land got independence, held Government House single-handed for 3 days against continuous attack?
Yes, that's the chap. And when he finally gave in, he found he'd been holding out against his own troops who'd been trying to rescue him.
Yes. Mr. Phillips, you've never thought of being a governor, have you?
Me? No, why?
Well, it just suddenly sounded like just the job for you.
Well, I suppose Mickey is taking the Pertwee out of Leslie again, aren't he?
Yes, sir, I was.
Yeah, what time do we leave for Portsmouth then, sir?
First thing tomorrow morning. And all the other press and TV boys will be there, of course. But fortunately, the destroyer that's going to pick up the field marshal at sea is Makepeace. So we might be able to wangle some exclusive shots.
Makepeace? What, Thunderguts, this old tub?
Yes, that's right. If we could actually take the cameras aboard and sail out in her to meet the liner, we'd have a shovel.
A shovel? Yeah, I think the word you're after, sir, is scoop. No.
No, it's a shovel. That's slightly bigger than a scoop, you see.
Good morning.
Morning, officer. We're from Troutbridge Television.
Well, what about it?
Well, we have to report to HMS Makepeace to do an outside broadcast.
Not without passes, you know.
No, we have passes. Here you are.
Right, let's see. Producer, Stephen Murray.
That's me.
Director, Mr. Leslie Philippe. We're not letting French bods in just at the moment.
No. I'm not a froggy, you know. I mean, Phillips is the name, and I'm a British bod. Listen, here's a health unto His Majesty.
British bod you may be, but you'll never get into the top 10. Now, who else? Mr. Johnston, cameraman? Yes. Mr. Goldstein, second cameraman? Yes. Floor manager, Mr. John Pert. Call out the dog! He's here! Lock everything up! Watch your pockets and pocket your watches, lads! Pertwee's on the prowl! How nice to be remembered by one friend. What did you have to bring him for? Things are just quieting down a treat.
Well, it wasn't my idea. I didn't want to come. Nevertheless, you have. So maybe now drive on to where Makepeace is berthed.
Well, it's against my better judgment, but I can't rightly see it how I can stop you. She's at number 7. Straight on, round to your left.
Well, there she is, gentlemen. All 2,000 tons of her.
Yes, quite a nostalgical, isn't it, sir? Getting a new tub full of her soon?
Yes, very. Goldstein, bring your film camera with you and let's see if we can get aboard her.
Well, I don't mind doing that, just so long as it's fully understood that I'm a civilian now and am therefore just as entitled to a tot of gin in the wardroom as the next man. I'm not going to be the mug who does all the filming while certain other people spend their day on the other end of a lot of cheers, bottoms up, down the hatch, mud in your eye and bung-ohs.
See? Yeah, quite. But I doubt if the invitation will arise. Naval hospitality will have to get past a certain civilian who's glaring at us from the deck up there.
Stop me, Thunderguts.
Well, come on then. Are you going to sit in that blasted bed all day?
Now he's here, if we're smart. Yes.
Yeah, agreed. But the choice is not ours. Get going, gentlemen. The old man of the sea awaits.
Mr. Phillips,
what is it, Pertwee?
Look, just to remind you, sir, we don't want none of your little novelties as we go up the gangplank, sir. So, look, do us all a favour, hang on with both handies, and for Drake's sake, don't look down.
Oh, thanks very much, Pertwee. I wish you hadn't reminded me, actually.
Perhaps I'd better go first, and if he does fall in, I can film it. Make a nice exclusive, that would, if anyone was potty enough to want it.
Do get a move on. The other press people will turn up at any minute now, and TTV must have the best vantage point.
You're absolutely right, sir. You're absolutely right.
Come with me onto the bridge. The commanding officer is up there. Oh, your successor.
What's he like?
You'll find out soon enough. Come along, up these steps. Well, here we are. In you go, gentlemen. I hardly think it necessary, but allow me to introduce you to the new commanding officer of Makepeace.
Oh, heavens, Lieutenant Commander Staunton. I beg your pardon, Commander Staunton.
Staunton? Oh, so he's taking over, is he? No, just a minute. Think again, Head. That can't be right, Osop. I'm Staunton.
You are also the commander of Makepeace, sir.
Oh, they've changed their minds again, have they? My word, they're a funny lot up at Admiralty, you know. Oh, yes. Hang on a tick. Who are these idiots here?
You remember us, sir? You used to be our commanding officer in Troutbridge.
Did I really?
Yes.
By Jove, you're right, you know. Yes, you're Staunton, my dear chap. How nice of you. Take hold.
Gentlemen, I think it might be quicker if I explain what's happened. Commander Staunton has just received a signal to the effect that the liner carrying the field marshal is due to dock early because of the tide.
Yes, you could be right there, sir. As an ex-navigating officer, I would say that with the full moon at this time of day, and lighting up time being what it is, and all that...
You wouldn't have the faintest idea.
Yeah, you're so right, sir.
Now listen, Cap. At the moment, TTV is the only film unit here. So if the destroyer puts to sea to meet the liner immediately, we shall have an exclusive coverage. Splendid. What are we waiting for? Unfortunately, the rest of the crew. What? Makepeace has only just been recommissioned. The ratings are all aboard, but the officers weren't due back until this morning. It's just a question of whether they get back before the rest of the press boys arrive.
Well, we'll just have to wait then.
Annoying.
TTV could do with an exclusive story like this.
It could indeed.
Still, there's nothing we can do but hope that these officers turn up.
No, nothing at all.
Yeah? I suppose we couldn't...
No, it's out of the question.
It's a great pity.
Yeah.
Great pity.
Yeah, it's a great...
Pity?
More very word.
Exclusive story, too. Absolutely. Still, there it is.
Yeah.
Pity.
A great...
Pity?
No, shame.
Still, there it is.
We're civilians now.
Yep. Even if we are still on demob leave.
What was that?
I said even if we are still on demob leave.
Yes, so we are. Still, I don't suppose it makes any difference.
No, I suppose not, really.
Shall I start the engines or you, sir?
Well, one of you do it, demob leave will do. Now, this is an emergency, both for TTV and the Royal Navy. Now, I'll get this ship underway, if Commander Staunton will agree.
What was that? Oh, yes. Yes, help yourself, old gumboots. The whole contraption is a complete mystery to me anyway.
You mean where the sail Makepeace? Fool that I am, I do. Now, pity's sake, get a move on.
Now then, I say, this is just like old times, isn't it, eh?
That's what we're afraid of. Concentrate on your driving.
What? Oh, yes. Steady at that.
Steady at that, it is, sir.
Is it really? Oh, well done. Amazing, you know, it's amazing. Once a chap has learnt navigation, he never forgets it. Just like riding a bike.
Mr. Phillips.
Sir?
To the best of my knowledge, you can't ride a bike either.
Well, I got us out of the dockyard, didn't I?
Yes, you did, sir. But only because every other ship ran for cover.
Oh, well, if that's the attitude, ease the front end over your way a bit, will you?
Ease the front end over my way a bit, it is.
Can't be much longer.
What can't it?
Before he said it.
Says what, sir?
Oh, come now.
Eh? Oh, yes! Any minute now, sir.
Left hand down a bit.
At last! Left hand down a minute, please, sir.
The master is home. Bridge?
Starboard lookout and ace cameraman Goldstein here. And that's only natural because it's the same me.
What is...
Which brings up a rather delicate little matter. Willing horse I may be. Doing two jobs at the same time I may be. But being paid for both I may not be. And if I'm not, which one would you like to replace with somebody else before I go on strike? Leastways, before half of me does.
I don't think I quite followed.
It matters because whichever half of me you decide to keep is the half that's going to go on strike in sympathy with the other half that you've replaced with a blackleg.
Goldstein.
Liner Empress of Botaniland, straight ahead, sir. And from here on, I'll be filming, so you'll have to fend for yourselves.
No, Goldstein.
Smile, please.
Hello.
You know, sir, I can't help feeling sorry for the Emperor of Botaniland.
Why?
Well, if that liner is anything like the Empress, she was a fat old tub.
I do see what you mean. Get us alongside, Mr. Phillips, so we can collect the field marshal.
I certainly, sir. Right hand up a bit.
Right hand up a bit, it is.
Steady at that.
Steady at that.
No. Left hand down a bit.
Left hand up a bit.
Back a bit. Over your way.
My way.
To me.
To where?
Easy.
Where are you going?
Easy. Mind the bonnet.
What?
First down.
First down.
Shut your eyes.
No.
No, bung it in reverse.
Bung it in. What are you talking about?
It's too close. Too close. Breathe in. Breathe in.
What are you...
Up to the top and back again.
No.
Mind the core. Lummy. I made it. Well, very nearly.
Yes, quite. Having rung the front doorbell, let's see if the field marshal's in, shall we? Goldstein.
Present, but I very nearly wasn't.
Yeah, all right. Now, make sure you get some good shots of the field marshal and his party being transferred to Makepeace from the liner, won't you? Don't forget, they'll be exclusive to TTV. We're first in the field.
We were very nearly first in the water as well. Leave it to me.
Hello? Admiralty here. Real Admiral Chatsworthy, Naval Intelligence, speaking. How would I like to come up where with what papers? Do me a favor? Not at all. Goodbye.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but there's a terribly urgent signal from Portsmouth.
Really?
Message reads, regret to report destroyer Makepeace hijacked by unknown group of civilians. Put to sea at 0900 hours and information now received that Field Marshal Sir Mortimer Bullingham Trench and his wife kidnapped from liner Empress of Botaniland and now sailing for unknown destination.
Yes, well, that all seems pretty straightforward.
Flagship of Nelson! You're right! This is a corker! They must be stopped! Quick! Send the signal! Top priority to all ships home fleet.
Aye, sir.
Destroyer Makepeace been nicked by suspected communists. Stop and return to Portsmouth at all costs. Challenge and, if necessary, sink on sight.
Steady at that. And just a touch of the old left hand down a bit.
Just as you say, sir. And where are we?
afloat. He's got you there.
This way, madam. Field Marshal, this is the bridge.
Is it? And what the blistering blue blazes are these civilians doing on it, eh?
Oh, well, yes, that's rather a long story, sir. They're all ex-naval men, sir.
My word! Now, the Whitehall wield the axe. They certainly wield it, don't they? It was just the same when they clobbered my dear husband out of the service, of course.
Quite.
He was tanks, you know. We always had one of our own in the garage at all the shops. Buttercup the Second, we called her.
Quiet. Now, sir, we are, of course, from Troutbridge Television Service. And I was hoping that you might agree to you and your wife giving us an exclusive interview. We could film it down in the wardroom.
Oh, certainly.
He's very good at chatting about tanks. Oh,
Yes.
in fact, I've often thought I'd like to paint one and hang it in Hobby's study. I mean, it might be just the teeniest inspiration while he's writing his memoirs, don't you think? He's calling it Tanks for the Memory.
Quiet.
Snag it, I can't paint.
Lummy, who threw that? You know, I could have sworn that was...
Camarade! Help, please, it's the civilians! Good grief, look, we're surrounded. It looks like the entire home fleet.
I say, how jolly nice of them. Fancy them taking the trouble to turn out just to welcome us back. Welcome on the mat. They're throwing the mat at us.
It's an outrage, If only we had Buttercup the Second with us, we could have fired back.
Ahoy there, Makepeace. Surrender immediately and make for Portsmouth. We have orders to sink you if you refuse.
A bridge?
I heard that. I filmed everything so far, but from here on in, you're on your own.
Give me the loudhailer.
Your pleasure, sir.
This is Makepeace. Cease fire. We are English. Oh, Britannia, Britannia!
That's what I like, a man of action. Yes, he's a lousy singer, but a man of action.
What's happened? Why are they firing on us? Well, isn't it obvious? It's that fool Commander Staunton. He hasn't notified Admiralty by signal that we stepped into the breach and took the ship over.
Well, fair. He's probably forgot. I mean, he's been back at the blunt end fishing ever since we left Portsmouth.
Has he? Well, this time I'd say he's caught more than he bargained for. You head back to the dockyard, Mr. Phillips. Head to the dockyard.
Easy. Coming into the docks now. Steady. Hats off all round. I'm going to try and tie her up.
Then please don't do a Phillips. There are too many witnesses.
Yes, and now that Commander Staunton has sent a signal, albeit a little late, they know who we are. I bet all the other press chaps and TV chaps will be fighting mad about this, eh?
Well, I'd say that rather depends on what sort of a muck-up we make a docking, sir. If we dock the way we always used to, they'll have an exclusive.
Right, steady now. Slur on both.
Steady and slow as on both it is, sir.
Easy. Stop engines.
Stop engines, sir.
Just a shade too late.
Mr. Phillips!
Well, now, don't fuss, sir. I mean, we're here, aren't we? Johnston, stand by to focus on top of the gangway as the field marshal and his wife are received.
Willingly. Only during that last little bit of shunting, my camera went overboard.
What? Why didn't you hang on to it?
Well, if I had, I'd have gone overboard too,
Reception committee coming aboard, sir. Who's that chap in front?
It's probably a reporter from one of the other television networks trying to pull a fast one, sir.
You could be right. No, stop it. Hey, just a minute, sir. Who are you?
Never mind who I am, sir. Are you a Mr. J. Pertwee?
Me? Not for all the tea in China. This is Mr. Pertwee.
No, it's not. I was lost at sea.
Mr. Pertwee, I'm from the investigation department of the Inland Revenue. About these dependent relatives you're claiming for. Dependent? They've got a word of the law in my form. Look, I can explain. Look, they're all here. As the old song says, sir, if I can help somebody. I put it to you, one of the best, sir. Never in the field of human company.
Well, that was John Pertwee, Leslie Phillips, and Stephen Murray doing an unfortunate to the TV Lark, written by Lawrie Wyman. John Pertwee was the floor manager, Leslie Phillips was the director, Stephen Murray was the producer, Henry Povey was played by Richard Caldecott, Fatso Johnston was Ronnie Barker, Taffy Goldstein was Tony Evans, controller of programs was Michael Bates, Janet was Janet Brown, and the voice of TTV, Robin Boyle. The recorded production was by Alastair Scott Johnston.